devilish feel with like some backwards imagery and stuff. And my
Well,
parents,
this is a story about how you got your brother into rap.
yes,
Right? Okay.
yes. Anyways, so my parents catch me with this cassette and they freak out. Like they are mad because it's a conservative household. It's already talking about violence and everything. And then on top of it has this like satanic messages on it, supposedly.
Perfect.
My brother is like, what makes my parents that mad? And now he's a huge rapper.
So fucking typical, I don't know what to do.
You're never gonna finish one of these.
Never.
Think you're scary, but I don't know what to do.
Everybody.
Hey!
Oh boy.
Oh boy, here we go.
Welcome back to The Lot, the penultimate episode of season 1. That's right. Next week will be our big season finale. We're gonna have a little bit of a lot party. Don't worry though, we're only gonna take a week off and be back right away with season 2. Hey guys, how's everything?
Doing good, Wook, man. Good to see you again.
Yeah.
Although we see each other every single day on Zoom,
with these bracket support shows we've been doing, it's like, fuck, I see you guys more than anybody really at this point.
I almost don't want to talk bracket support tonight. I really don't. Oh, hey, look, I got sunglasses. Look out. Here we go. Bracket support time.
Can I just mention one interesting thing?
Yes.
Coming up? We're going to end up with the Dead versus Fish.
Yep.
And
the Final Four.
Tomorrow with Wook Blog, we're going to have a piece about the dead and fish and how they have a symbiotic
possibly if I get
relationship.
to it. Just messing with you. Yeah, that's tomorrow.
I also wrote a short piece about why I think Fish should be the winner. And I sent it to Llama's email because Llama typically is in charge of the blog for the most part. But then I think you got a different email now, Llama.
Yeah, and
no, he got it. He just chose to ignore it.
He was just like, nah, it's no.
It's not so much that I've turned off all the notifications on my phone. So unless I actively remember to make human contact with people,
yeah,
I don't. And I hadn't checked my email until you mentioned it in the thread.
Yeah, it was also my bad because I didn't realize that I sent it to you yesterday on your birthday. Happy birthday, Llama.
Happy birthday, Llama.
Happy birthday.
Thanks. 103 is looking really good.
You don't look a day over 101, man.
Ah, great. Nice. It's the rosé right here. That's what's keeping me alive.
I can't believe Fam had a birthday emoji cut out.
Oh, thank you. I missed it. I wasn't looking. I was looking at it.
What's the over-under on the number of cutouts you have? Is it like at 50? Is it over 50, you think?
It is probably right at 50 is my guess.
You have a gumbo cutout.
Yeah, also we need to show the world your t-shirt. That was possibly the greatest practical joke that I don't know, Travis, have you pulled a better practical joke than that?
Oh, that was pretty good. That was good.
He asked,
yeah, solid.
He asked Matt for his address in the thread because he wanted to send him jerky. And then he's texting me. He's like, what do you think of this t-shirt? And I was like, do it.
Amazing. Yeah. So I'm a well-known lover of all things gumbo. So he knew that this was my favorite song, that I couldn't live without this. No, it is probably the perfect troll. Like there's no, it's right there. It's gold medal of trolling right now. And I love it so much.
Solid troll.
Well, the big thing is that you're a huge soccer fan, and it's the Umbro logo soccer shorts. So when the merging of the two was too perfect. I mean, it worked on so many levels.
incredibly
joke
meta
has to.
troll. Like, right, just double and triple levels of trolling. Like, yeah, gold medal again. We won't have an Olympics, but let's have an Olympics.
Are
of
you a
trolling.
Liverpool fan?
Of course, I'm a Liverpool fan. Are there people that aren't Liverpool fans? I'm
Yeah,
confused.
man. Like, go fuck yourself.
Oh, well.
Probably me.
Oh.
Here we go. Here we
It
go.
couldn't last 5 minutes.
God,
5 minutes.
Sports, man.
So
At least Premier League's back, man. We're like, ugh.
That's because they're
You mean Premier League?
That's right.
Dude,
That's right.
I grew up in the South. It's Premier League.
Is it
It's
Serie
all-
A too? Serie A?
what is it? Serie A? This
Yes,
is like the
it's
most.
Serie A.
Is it?
Weird.
I know nothing about soccer except for FIFA, and I know that.
I know nil.
Yes, you do know nil.
Yes,
That's
we
right.
all know
I've heard
nil.
hockey.
did.
Hockey uses nil. I'm pretty sure too. Am I right about
Where? Show me an example.
that? I'm sorry. I know. I blew it. See,
I just set you up for a pitch, man. You could have pitched.
It works. It works. It works in there. And I didn't notice you said it more than once, actually. It wasn't until recently I was watching it back and I was like, holy shit, he actually says it like 2 or 3 times in it, which is even better.
And I love that's like the first thing people notice too. Like, you know,
Right,
this is
I
an
know.
amazing video, but what the hell is he saying nil for? Like, what's wrong with him? That's awesome.
Just to catch everybody up, we were referring to the
Thank you,
St.
Chad.
Louis Blues championship video that we did the night Fish played in St. Louis, the night the Blues won the championship. And
Yeah.
Matt did the narration and wrote the script and kept referring to the score as nil.
So like a real
if I'm
hockey
not
pro.
mistaken, wasn't last week's guest at that show as well?
She was. She was
Correct.
there.
Yep.
Correct.
Yep.
Yeah. So this is
Tamara?
it's all coming
Good-
back around. Tamara.
Good
yeah.
callback. Good callback, Llama.
Hey, speaking of guests, Wook, who do we got on the show tonight?
Ooh.
So yeah, that's actually really
segue.
exciting. We only have 2 guests tonight because they're both such impressive guests and so interesting, and I'm really excited to talk to both of them. So first up, we have Dr. Stephanie Jenkins, who, if you've heard the School of Fish, she does the philosophy of fish class at Oregon State. I feel like there's a couple iterations of it, right? Like they have the actual Oregon State class, but then she started last year doing these conferences as well.
Mhm.
So there's a lot to talk to about her. I think she's the first doctor we've had on, right? We've had journalists and award-winning authors and a lyricist and Sirius XM radio host. We've had all sorts of guests, but I'm pretty sure she's the first doctor. So
Well,
gonna be
hold on a
great.
second. How did Llama reach 103 years old and not get a PhD at this point? That's what I'm wondering.
he's a llama.
Oh, that's
Oh, yeah.
sir. He's a llama.
Sir.
I have 4 honorary ones, but usually
Oh, but not
don't
okay.
use
Well,
those.
that's humble of you then, because I would
Yeah.
say I would say I'm a doctor if I had even an honorary PhD. I would.
I
Dr.
don't-
Llama.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well,
Yeah.
that's cool.
One of
And
them's
then-
from his place in Venezuela, and I can't pronounce the name anyways. So.
Well, you should
Probably
be
for
able
the
to. If you have a
best.
PhD from someplace, never.
I
mind.
know.
Should be able to pronounce it.
But didn't we just go over the premiere problem? So
Premier.
You had to bring that back. It was like the most pretentious, screwed up conversation. I was so happy to get away from it. And now you're like, oh,
hey, I
crash
gotta
right into
practice
it
my
again.
callbacks. I just gotta practice my callbacks. That's all.
We've
good.
been working on it. We've been working on it.
See what you've done, Chad? You
Yep.
see the problem here?
Yep.
Hmm.
Thank
Well,
God there's only 2 guests. If
we
I had a
should
longer
probably
list,
move
I would
on,
never
yeah.
get through it.
Yeah. Who is our second guest? We've got too much inside baseball going on.
So the second guest is also very exciting. It's the one and only Scott Marks, Mr. Biz Archive, which I don't know if you guys know this. I will give away something about that handle. Biz is not like business, it's Bizarro, right? It comes from the influence of Bizarro
Oh.
Seinfeld. So we can ask him about the origin of that or not, because there's actually a lot more interesting things to talk about. But either way, Scott is endlessly fascinating. He is the keeper of the .NET set list. He also does the Humphreys archive. So that's gonna be a fun guest. So
Oh yeah.
That's
for
it.
sure. Yeah, he's very fast. Last night we did a quick mic check with him. Wook and I jumped on a quick Zoom just to check his mic for him, and I wanted to ask him every question in the book, like right at that moment. I had to refrain. So
and I think Scott and Stephanie are friends too. So that's good. That always helps, right? When
I
our
love
guests
when our
know
guests
each other.
know- Yes, I love.
Yeah,
when
it's
our
almost like
guests
we
know
can
each
sit
other.
back and they just
Yeah.
kind of talk. It's awesome. So
What's that you got in your hands there, fam? What is that?
Oh, I have the Fish Companion from the Mockingbird Foundation
Yep.
that Scott is a major contributor to
Oh, yeah.
and a board member, but also obviously a huge part of putting these books together. And yeah, I'm excited to talk to him about that as well. So
And
Fun
I would
story
also,
too. Dr. Jenkins is also part of Mockingbird Foundation.
Yep.
And,
Yeah,
had a big role in the COVID relief campaign. They just, or I think it's still going on, but that's going on right now.
Yeah, and I'll just go out of my way right here to say tonight I'm going to throw a couple bucks to both Waterwheel and Mockingbird Foundation. And if I see you out there donating, I'll match like up to a certain amount. I'm not rich, but like I'll like if I see you donating to either Mockingbird or Waterwheel, I'll try to match it as hard as I can.
$1
That's
million.
awesome.
For
$1
every
I'll get in on
dollar,
that.
you could probably put a dime towards every dollar that somebody donates. You know what I mean?
Yeah, oh, that's not a bad idea. That's not a bad idea. A dime for a
Yeah.
dollar.
Yeah.
That's not a bad idea.
And then Lam and I get together offline and come up with a plan to screw you guys over and just throw mad money down. You'd be like, God damn it. I actually have a brand new segment I want to run and test with you guys,
Oh,
but this
God.
this has not been rehearsed and it could be a complete disaster. So I apologize in advance.
Do we want to talk baseball card? No, never mind.
I absolutely do not want to
You
talk.
cannot
baseball.
steal the show without Ricky Henderson.
Do you want to do a baseball card? Will that
no,
make you
no.
guys
Do
feel
your
better?
bit. Do your bit. Do your segment.
All right. So this segment is called Duck Duck Blank. And the premise of it is I will read you Goose lyrics, but I'm going to leave a
God.
word out and I would like you to fill in the blank.
I have no chance.
Simple enough, right?
I have no chance.
Do you want to go first?
I'll
I'll give you the easiest one if you go first. Whoever goes first will go.
I'll go
for the
first.
easiest.
Exactly. I don't even want to.
No, let Travis go first.
All right. I'm going to say it twice. So just listen and think. The elevator, I'm not a blank. So see you later, blank. Again, that's the elevator, I'm not a blank.
I know.
See you later, blank.
I have to come up with 2 words that would fill in that
Yes.
in there.
I'm not a what? I'm not a blank. And see you later, blank.
Wow. I don't know.
This is the easy one.
Lama's
Pass
trying
to
to help.
Famer, please.
Okay.
Pass to Famer, T, if you want to. Is this passable?
No.
Can I use a
He-
lifeline?
No.
All right. All right. I'm not a woman. And then what's the other one?
See you later, blank.
Man.
What's
The
correct answer?
elevator, I'm not a woman. See you later, man.
That's it,
Nice.
right?
The answer is the elevator, I'm not a waiter. See you later, alligator.
All right. All right.
All right, who's up?
That's close.
I think Fam's chomping at the bit.
All right, fam, what do we got here for you?
Oh, Lordy.
Floating floating on a blank sea, rather here, not far from me.
That's good.
Floating on a blank sea, rather here, not far from me.
Floating on a chocolate sea.
Hey, that'd be awesome. Floating on a chocolate sea, rather here, not far from me. Nope. The answer is floating on a marshmallow sea. You had the head in the right spot.
Ooh,
Willy
it was the
Wonka.
Willy Wonka talk. We were talking Wonka,
Yeah,
and
that's
the
true.
Chocolate River got me there.
true.
But damn, I was
That's
close.
That's from their late classic Wisteria Lane, or maybe it's an early classic.
Ooh, Wisteria Lane, which has to be named after Desperate Housewives, correct? Is anybody a big Desperate Housewives fan? That was the name of the street they lived on. I'm pretty sure was Wisteria Lane.
Wisteria Lane. You're correct. Yes, fam.
Yes.
All right. Well, we're gonna
Boom.
keep this one moving. All right, we got 3 guys left and 3
I'll go.
riddles left. Or Llama.
I'll take a stab at it.
All right. hanging on a blank, untamed, the way that my love grows. Hanging on a blank, untamed, the way that my love grows.
Yo, hanging on a string.
Hanging on a string, untamed, the way that my love grows. That is absolutely incorrect. The correct answer is garden rose. Hanging on a garden rose, untamed, the way my love grows.
I was close.
What do we think? Is this bit funny? Kind of dying now?
It's dying, but we got 2 left. Let's just see it through.
All right, let's just power through. Kev.
Yep.
And I sure as hell know better than most. There's no sense in blank.
Ooh.
Roast.
There's no
Correct
sense in
answer.
ghost.
He's just rhyming. He's taking
Roast
beating
isn't the best. I
it
mean,
down. There is no sense in beating it down. Judges were looking for beating it down. I am sorry.
Wow, you
And
can't
then-
give him a 3-word. That's not even fair. It's
Yeah,
not
you
even
had to go
one
blank,
word.
blank, blank.
Yeah,
Blank,
you gotta
blank,
tell him
blank.
blank, blank, blank.
All right. Well, next week or next season,
No.
I'll do better.
Yeah,
Next season we will
Yeah,
not.
you
do
need
this
a
again.
whole off season to practice.
I
here.
think duck blank has got to go.
Can we
as
try
much
one
as
more?
You hate the baseball. Yes, I got it.
Uno
Chad.
mas, por favor.
Yes.
But you can't fool me. No, you're blank. I don't wish to blank.
Oh, I got it. Okay, so 2. So no, you don't fool me.
You can't fool me.
You can't fool me.
You can't fool me. No, you're blank. I don't wish to blank.
You're ugly, and I don't wish to fuck.
That is not correct.
Oh,
Shocker. You're
yeah.
bread. I don't wish to eat. All right. Well, you know what? Maybe if they
I
had
was
Tom
close.
Marshall,
I was close.
maybe
That
if they
was
had
close.
Tom Marshall, this game would be more interesting. I don't know.
Yeah.
Wow, that's a pretty veiled like. Oh, there we go, Ricky Henderson.
Yeah, I know Ricky
That-
Henderson, man. I
That
ain't
card
fucking ar-
popped up
I-
fast.
I wasn't fucking around today, man. We got to get out of this duck
I
duck
got the
blank bit
Chewy.
so
I
bad.
got the Chewy rookie card.
Chewbacca,
Yes, the Chewbacca rookie card.
his rookie, so it's like 76.
So you have a Wookiee rookie.
I have a
Oh,
Wookiee. Yes.
hey!
There we are.
Birthday
There we
boy!
are.
Boom!
Nice.
Thank
You
God.
want to
With
jump right
Edgar
into our
Martinez.
guest?
Are we gonna do our
Oh.
guest?
Yeah, I
Okay.
think so.
All right. If she wants to come in,
Yeah, I think so.
she's here.
Let's do it. She's
Okay.
here. All
Save
right.
my oil can Boyd for next time then.
I saved it just for when you were gonna do the card bit. All right.
All right, here we go.
From Corvallis, Oregon, helping students faceplant into Oregon State with the Philosophy School of Fish, it's Dr. Stephanie Jenkins.
Oh, turn off YouTube.
Faceplant into Oregon State with the Philosophy School of Fish. It's
Dr. Jenkins, can you hear me?
Hey, I had my microphone on and video off because I didn't know when you were going to let me in. So
Okay.
let me just make sure that my camera is working and I'm okay with what you're about to see. There you go. Okay.
Oh, there you go. Atta
This is
girl.
what I was doing. I was getting my dog ready because I don't know how long I'm going to be in here and she needs to be taken care of right now because she's pretty sick. So I was rocking out in my office with the petrichor hat from the New Year's gag.
Oh,
And
nice.
because I wasn't sure what hat I should show up in or which sunglasses. So I have different options for night shades depending on which version of me you want to talk to. Because it matters because I'm a lot of different things and I literally wear a lot of different hats. So if you want to talk to me, Stephanie, this is my wingsuit. It's my authenticity costume. let me show you how it started. So literally my best friend in the world. Her name is Amanda. I call her Roomie. I know she's okay with this because we talk about it on social media. She gave me this shirt in Las Vegas when I was on a combination work trip and different versions of work. I was at a conference related to a trip that I went to Israel in 2017. Also doing networking for work that I do at Oregon State. And then also on a field trip with my students to the Las Vegas Halloween Run. And she gave this to me for my birthday and got herself another one so that when we wear it together, we can be a holy unicorn.
Oh, nice.
Amanda, if you're watching, I love you. I don't know if she is. She's in Chicago and she there's a lot going on there, just like there is here in Oregon. So she's probably out at a protest and doesn't have time or have other friends. But she also gave me this for my birthday, which is my authenticity costume that I show up to on the last day of my existentialism class. It's the meaning of existence.
Oh, so a light class, nothing too heavy.
We talk a lot about death, but also music. The first day of class, I always show them the Talking Heads Once in a Lifetime video because it's about an existential crisis.
Sure.
Right? And then I play them the album Dark Side of the Moon one track at a time. Every day for the class kind of intermission or set break. And then we talk about it in relationship to the philosophers that we're reading.
This is your existential class?
Yeah, it's Philosophy 203 here at Oregon State. It's called The Meaning of Existence. I did an interview with Dawn Jenkins on the Female Centrics podcast about it. And also Ghosts of the Forest. We talked about the WeCroak app, which is an application that will send you reminders that you're going to die. So I sent that to my students. You're all welcome to download it if you want to. I have it on my app because I love it. It's fun. But
what is the benefit from that?
Like from your die?
Yeah, having the reminders of your imminent death. How does that benefit you?
Can we hit a pause on that conversation?
Sure, yeah. I mean, whatever you want to do.
Actually,
a timer for like 10 minutes. I want to finish. Can I finish telling you the story about my costume?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Don't let me forget that I want to talk about why we need to talk about how we're all going to die. Okay. So
I'm making a note of it.
Please do, because I'm busy getting really probably too excited about your questions, so I'm gonna forget.
We got plenty of time. We have a long show.
And our questions are so basic. You have nothing to worry about. Trust us.
Oh no. Here's the problem. I'm a philosopher who loves fish. If you ask me a basic question that you think it's a basic question, there are probably rabbit holes that I'm gonna jump into that you don't want to go down.
Hey,
that will end with, are you even real?
We got 2.5 hours to kill, Doctor.
Let's do it.
You know, like whatever you need, man.
2.5 hours of time is shorter than one graduate class. So, please let me just first of all apologize. If anything I say sounds condescending, I really don't mean it. I'm talking to you like I talk to my students and my colleagues, because the questions you ask cause me to jump down rabbit holes, right? That's how interesting the questions that you're saying are basic to me, and I genuinely and sincerely believe that.
That's fair.
And we look forward to that. That's awesome.
That's a sign of a curious mind. And
Tim sent me an email asking. I asked for a pre-interview because I really don't know what you guys want to talk to me about. Right? There's a lot of things that we could talk about. We could talk about philosophy. We could talk about my fish-like clothes. We can talk about unicorns. I'll talk to you about aliens because our religious studies department elected me as the human that they want to represent Earth when aliens show up. So I will talk. I literally will talk about anything.
That's a lot of pressure.
No, I need to know where your line is, right? Because I will accidentally cross it if you don't tell me.
Well, I want you to be able to finish the unicorn costume.
Yeah,
story,
the costume story.
But I do kind of. I want to know if you're the ambassador to the aliens, like how that's going to go down.
Someone please write that down, because I want to know. I don't.
Okay, I'll put it in the chat. All right, put it in the chat. Wook.
I don't. So what I would do if this was a work meeting is there would be someone assigned to take notes for me.
Right.
I can't take notes when I'm talking.
Yeah,
Right,
we're a little looser than a work meeting.
Yeah, but that's why it matters who I am, because if I start treating you like my colleagues, I might accidentally offend you.
Okay,
Who is
don't worry
Tim?
about it.
Tim,
Okay, I'm gonna let you
Hi,
go.
Stephanie.
Hi.
Chad, Chad,
Yes.
just let her talk.
No. I'm actually going to get to her unicorn costume, and the way I'm going to get back to it is that looks exactly like the unicorn costume that John Mayer wore riding the rail
Oh my God.
Remember
for
that?
Fish.
Um,
Do you know what I'm talking about?
Can I swear on this show?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay. I'm wearing a unicorn costume and my funky bitch sunglasses, which means right now you're talking to Stephanie and not Dr. Jenkins.
Got it.
Or fuck in the classroom or in
Okay.
a professional interview unless I know it's appropriate. But this is a Wook Plus interview, so I know it's okay for me to go full blown Wook.
Absolutely.
I fucking love John Mayer. I have never met the man, and he probably I don't want him to get a restraining order, right? And you talked about this with Benji Eisen last week, the never stop gushing. Like I gush a lot,
Yeah.
and I gush a lot about people I don't know, including Tim. Can I gush about you? Do I have permission? to do that?
Absolutely. I always welcome gushing about me.
Tim seriously might be my new best friend. Maybe the coolest person I have ever met. And the reason
Thanks.
why is there's a lot of weird stuff going on in the world right now, including my life, because we're living in a global pandemic. Why are you laughing? Can I ask? Is that a knowing laugh?
The timer going off is why I'm laughing.
Oh yeah,
The 10
timer-
minutes.
Oh my God, I am so sorry.
That's fine.
It doesn't. That was not 10 minutes.
I believe we were gushing about me.
Yeah. Oh, sorry. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
The
Continue,
reason why I'm
please.
setting the timer is I can talk about anything, including aliens, probably for 3 hours if you challenge me to. And
Well,
because I find it so interesting, but I want to hear from you. Like it's offensive to me if I talk longer than 10 minutes.
we only have 2 guests because we really want to get into it and talk.
Since
And
he's
I
not
think-
here yet too, can I say I fucking love Scott for the
Yeah,
season and Tim, all of you, because you'll talk to me about this stuff, and my timer just went off, so that tells me I have to stop talking. I'm done until you ask me a question.
So do you,
All right,
do you have?
so let's go back. Hold on. There's a couple of open threads that I want to close because for my own, compulsive nature. So the unicorn costume. You were going to tell us something about the unicorn costume. I just had a note here, unicorn costume.
Okay, so this is a gift from my best friend in the world, Amanda, because we unicorn together. She says that I'm her spirit animal and that that's a unicorn. The reason why that's significant to me is I'm gonna stop swearing and saying fuck because it's actually this is a professional conversation. It's really important, and I think I might have students watching, and I want them to know that this isn't me not taking their work seriously. So with that being said, my favorite philosopher in the world is Michel Foucault. I read his work like I'd read a book written by a friend, because there are pieces in I gotta take my headphones off. There are pieces of his life in this book about who he loved. Well, not this book, the books that are currently trapped in my office because of COVID. I'm not allowed in my office because I'm not an essential worker, right? So my favorite books, including the original text of Foucault's dissertation in English and in French, are in my office. And I love his work so much that I took the time to learn a foreign language so that I could read it. Pretty much everything you need to know to understand Foucault is available in English translation. You can also read it in German, whatever language you want, it's available. That's how influential his work has been to my field. He's changed the world in ways that I'm still trying to figure out. And he changed my life because he gave me a language for talking about the things I love that my colleagues who don't get it can understand, right? And that thing that I love that much, that I will devote the time to understanding it in every way imaginable and more, because I keep finding new layers to it, is music and Fish. It started in the summer of 1995. I was on a horse farm in Maine playing the drums to Nirvana and a band whose name I don't remember because my horseback riding instructors. So I do show and tell in my class. I used to ride horses. You can't see the picture.
There it is.
Horse is Dante's Inferno. We were at a horse farm in Pennsylvania. As a reference, this fence was taller than I was. And there was a time in my life where my dream was that that's what I wanted to do for a living. I wanted to ride horses competitively for the combined training.
Right.
And the reason why I'm telling you this is it's a really long story about curveball, right? Not this horse, but a different horse broke my back. And so I had to give up the thing that I loved the most in the world because I was told that if I had another fall that I wouldn't be able to walk again.
This was when you were young?
Yeah, when I was in high school.
Wow.
So I think I told you that I played softball and baseball. I have a baseball on my desk to remind me of who I once was. I used to be a catcher. And
my daughter's a catcher. She's varsity catcher for her high school team.
I love your daughter already because that's who I wanted to be once in a past life. I know how hard that is because in my existentialism class, we give a lecture that I call where I have students come up in the classroom. I give them a tennis ball and I ask them to play catch. I usually ask for a softball player or a baseball player. So sometimes there's a woman, sometimes there's a man, sometimes it's two men, sometimes there's a trans student, right? The gender's complicated. And then I give them a tennis ball. And the reason why I give them a tennis ball is because my service dog, Mandy, is there with me. And Mandy loves tennis ball. And so it's really funny to watch Mandy struggle with the tension of, is she at work or is this a game? And I talk to my students about it. Like Mandy works and plays hard. Right now, I've intentionally designed a situation that's very difficult for her because she wants to play the ball and she knows that she can't play ball here.
Right.
And I have my students play catch, right, which looks like fetch to my dog. And then I say, okay, stop. Now I want you to throw it like a girl. Y'all know what I mean by that? Throw it like a girl.
Yeah.
Hard and badass.
No, this thing where you flip your wrist forward.
Yeah. Yeah. So it can mean different things to different people. And usually, if there's a man throwing the ball, he stops and looks at me and says, I'm not doing that. Why?
Because it seems like a trap.
Exactly, and it is.
Yeah.
And trust me, I know what the trap is because I was one.
Hey.
When I was in my teens, I wanted to play softball and I wanted to be the varsity catcher. I was the JV catcher, and I was very good at it because the reason why I know is that once I caught a game and I didn't let a single ball behind me pass behind me. I blocked everything, and my coach told me. He pulled me aside after that game and said, I've never seen anybody do that before. You have the potential to be very good, but you're going to have to work at it. And so I took that my mentor took me aside and told me that I needed to take it seriously. But the problem was that it was, the mid 90s in Bangor, Maine. You probably know that because of Stephen King or some of the Fish shows that were there, right?
Yeah.
Fish. Were any of you there?
Show.
You go to shows in Portland or Bangor, the other Portland?
Kev, maybe. Were you at Bangor? Any of the Bangor shows?
The only main shows I saw were the Went and the Lemon Wheel.
Coventry, baby. Woo.
So someday I'll tell you my story about those festivals, but we're not down that rabbit hole right now. Right. So
We'll get there. We'll get there.
Challenge accepted. Can we get that far down my rabbit hole in 3 hours?
I'm dying to, man. I'm dying to just explore this thing all the way to Alice in Wonderland. I'm just let's go. Yeah. All right. Go ahead. While she's taking a break, I'm gonna make a confession to you and YouTube and everyone that's listening. Nice. Alice. You got an Alice in Wonderland. 10 years ago, I was the guy watching the college women's softball World Series on TV going, I could hit that. I hit the ball.
Yeah.
And the more I thought about it and watched it, I'm like, I wouldn't have a chance.
The field's so much smaller. The field is so much smaller than baseball that the velocity of that huge object coming
Well,
at you is
there-
nothing like a hit trying to hit a baseball.
Yeah, when they started doing the math and being like, okay, this pitch is equivalent to like a 95-mile-an-hour fastball, and I'm like going, oh, I wouldn't have a chance. There's no way.
It's
I
a
would be-
lot of work. It's a lot.
Yeah.
She played 186 games in a 2-year period. She was so dedicated every weekend for 2 years.
Your daughter?
Yes,
Oh my God, that's a lot of ball.
that is.
Huh.
That's how she got so good, though.
So
Practice.
Stephanie, why do we need reminders that we're gonna die?
We're talking.
Let's get to the happy stuff.
Yeah, we got a nice little like jovial.
I need to
softball
know
conversation
this.
going
This
on.
is fascinating.
I just made a big confession that I was a sexist prick 10 years ago. and I
Oh, look at
changed.
that.
What do you got?
Who's that from?
Whoever's our note taker, please make a note about the 90-mile-an-hour fastball and the sexist prick comment, because I want to come back to that. And also,
No, tackle it now. Tackle it now.
Yeah, well, whatever you want.
but we have to come back to why it matters that we're all gonna die, because
We can save it. I'll save that. Let's address the sexist prick.
All right, we
comment.
got that in the back pocket. It's in the back pocket. Why we're all gonna die.
any one of us could die during this show.
Oh, whoa.
I'm serious, right? We're
She's
living-
not wrong, but
Well, I'm the guy smoking a cigarette right now, going, "What are you talking about?"
yeah, I don't know what you're talking about.
I'm serious. Like, I'm serious. I'm not kidding. This is really serious. Like, do you
Okay,
get what I mean? That any one of us could die right now.
right.
More fat tie.
Could
Well,
be-
and it seems more apparent and realistic nowadays, right? Like, I don't think we're faced with our mortality. I'm at least in my life, I was never seeing it daily like you do now. But anyway,
the reason why it's important to me, I mean, we can joke about it because it's important to me that we laugh and we make art and music about the fact that we're all gonna die, because that's the only thing that's keeping me grounded right now in a very difficult time. Right? What's happening in today's world? Well, you can read the news and find out what's happening in Oregon. You can read the news and find out what's happening in our country. And it doesn't matter where you fall on the political spectrum, right? If you're a Democrat, if you're a Republican, if you don't care about politics, if you're not part of a party, it really doesn't matter. There's an election coming in November, and wherever you stand on that spectrum, it looks like an apocalypse. And I know that because it does to me. One of my favorite people on this planet is a Trump supporter, and she might be watching, right? I don't know if she has the information to find this if she wants to. So if I say something to you, right, I'm now talking to my friend and I'm not going to say her name because I don't want you to identify her. If I say something that offends you, I genuinely want to know about it and I apologize in advance, right? That's how much I love her, because she helped save my life.
It's very fair.
Right, but she's a Trump supporter, and the conversations that are happening right now in the news sometimes relate to the survival about people who I love, and also strangers who I don't know, but I get them because I know the experiences that they've been through, or I've read enough in the news to know what's going on, that there's an important story to be told. And I can't tell you other people's stories. I can only tell you mine and where the line is, right? Sometimes I talk about things that make other people uncomfortable, but the reason why I do it is the curveballs in my life have been exponential. And I'm now at the point where I can say, this is an Uno card that I had on my desk. I wanted to mail these to you all before we talked about this so that you can get a little bit about who I am and what I'm up to. But I teach this class about the Philosophy School of Fish, which is the nickname for my philosophy of art class.
We definitely want to get into that. By
We
the
totally
way.
will.
That's something
We are-
that is, write it down, Llama. Somebody write it down. Put that on the agenda.
I'm
We're
down
definitely getting into
that rabbit hole, so I'm going to change my sunglasses. I don't know if these are the right ones, but let's try them out just so that you know that I'm now speaking about something that's a professional thing. So I make these Uno cards and bring them to fish shows with me. And the reason why I do it is I love fish and philosophy. I've been doing both of them to different degrees since I was 15 years old. That might sound strange to you because my first fish show wasn't until 2003, but I always considered myself to be a fish fan up until that point. because I had a cassette tape that a friend from band had given me. I don't know what's on it because it's at my parents' house and I have to find it. And I so badly want to know what's on that I'm trying to figure out how the hell I'm going to rent an RV and drive to Maine during a global pandemic and do it safely with my dog, and who's going to be my co-pilot, like, right? I'm trying to talk my best friend into it, and they don't want to do that right now because they have other things. So anyway, that's how much I love this stuff, is that last summer I spent approximately a month at my parents' house, which was not what was planned. I was going to go on summer tour, a lot of shows with Scott, actually. Scott and I had some great show plans. But after the Fish Studies conference in 2019, I got very, very sick. I'm a lifelong chronic pain patient. The condition is complex regional pain syndrome, reflex sympathetic dystrophy. The reason why I'm comfortable saying that publicly is because I'm a chronic pain researcher. I research that condition with a colleague. We work with the organization RSDSA to raise awareness about it. And I worked myself too hard for that conference because I loved it. It was a passion project. And I was okay up until I started running around at fish shows and thinking that I was okay. And I wasn't, because my grandmother had died and I had to go to her funeral, right? And so my pain got uncontrollable. So badly that I had to take a bunch of opioids, which I've done before. I've taken every painkiller under the sun. But if I have to take opioids, you know it's bad, because I don't like them. And I don't even understand why people use them to get high, because of how badly it affects my ability to think. But I can't make judgments for other people, because only you know your own body, right? Only you know what's going to work. And so the reason why I'm telling you this now is you're actually going to see me because we're going to be in here so long, you're going to hear me or see me taking medication. And you can ask me what it is. I might not answer you depending on what it is, but I have to tell you this because this is how you might save my life, which is that.
Because we could all die at any moment.
I have the same cup, by the way.
Baker's Dozen?
Baker's Dozen. Cheers.
Oh, you.
Which show did you go to? How many?
He went to all of them.
I went to all of them.
Uh-oh. We're never going to get to the
How?
bottom of what those
By the
pills
way,
were.
thank you.
Oh,
Because
I thought the unicorn was costume.
Oh, there we go.
Donuts. I went to every night. I was on the floor every night, and I tried every donut, at least one bite.
I could not get every donut, but I was there.
Wait, how are they still intact? Like, I mean, they're
Those
not
are
real
those
donuts.
Those are the tickets.
I love them
Yeah,
so much. I took very good care of them.
Yeah.
I thought they were actual.
They're on my
donuts.
desk, along
Those are
with
tickets, Chad.
my trophy.
Aw.
That's
I have
awesome.
about 40
What's that
of
a
these
trophy
cups.
for?
If you all want cups, if you don't have cups and you want them, I have some extras. I don't know
Yes,
any.
please.
Tim is my new best friend. Tim, I love you, and I'm gonna
I
get
love
to
you
that.
too.
Okay.
I have to say the conversation we had when we had the pre-interview, I didn't know what to expect, and it can be intimidating too, right? Like talking to somebody you don't know who's a professor and with all of your accomplishments. And you made me feel very comfortable right away talking to you. I instantly felt comfortable talking to you. And B, I didn't want to stop talking because I felt we talked for over 2 hours and I felt like we were just beginning to scratch the surface of all these interesting thoughts. I mean, you're absolutely fascinating to talk to. So I appreciate you coming on here. And if we don't get to everything, which I know we won't, I hope you come back again. But anyway, I don't want to derail the conversation.
Well,
Got a list.
let me say that is that I had so much fun talking to Tim. That conversation was so meaningful for me that I want to tell Tim what I did this weekend. And I want to hear if he followed through on the yes end. And it's okay if you didn't have time to, Tim, but I kind of want you to tell that story because I know what I would say. I don't know how you would tell it.
Oh,
Okay.
I cannot wait.
Because we're pre-gaming and this conversation's important. I'm gonna light a candle and put it next to my Foucault puppet.
Okay. Nice.
Because Foucault is dead and he can't be here for this conversation. But what he would say relates directly to the unicorn conversation, because I was about to read you from a sort of book of his.
How do you spell his name for people who would want to go out and read it afterwards?
1 second. I gotta find it.
Good question though, Llama. Like solid. Like you jumped in there at the right time with the right question. Really proud of you, man. Happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
Thanks. I've been taking notes.
And he's also has notes. So if we get lost and we need to come back, we just go to Llama.
I can't find the right book because I pulled out too many books on my desk. So the
That
alternatives
happens.
are, yeah, it trust me. I like books and I cannot lie. So Chez Foucault, this is how you spell it. It's I'll put it in the chat. Or can someone else type it? I'll spell it. It's
Yep.
Foucault.
Foucault.
His first name is spelled like Michael, Michel, but it's French, so it's presents Michel Foucault. I'm sorry that I'm now lecturing you about French pronunciation. I didn't intend to do that. It's just I love him so much that how his name sounds.
I'm sorry we're not paying you for
No,
this
no,
right
no,
now.
yeah.
Like,
I
I'm
know,
sorry,
this
like
is
we're getting a
amazing.
free class on like, French philosophers. This is
I have
amazing.
another question about French pronunciation. How do you say croissant?
Croissant.
Oh,
I might
that's
have that
so
wrong.
good. Oh, that was so good.
My
Wow.
best-
Say it again.
No, hold on. It's my French isn't good enough for some complicated reasons that I'm happy to tell you. My best friend from France is she's easily identifiable if you follow me on Facebook, but I'm not going to say her name because I don't know if she wants you all tracking her down. So actually she doesn't. No, you know what? Never mind. I forgot her birthday.
Ripcord.
I like it.
I'm recording. Like Elodie is one of my best friends on this planet, but she might not know that. And the reason why starts with I forgot her birthday. I don't forget my friends' birthdays, and if I do, there's a good reason. And the reason why was because of what was going on in my life last week. So I wasn't on Facebook and I didn't get the reminder that it was her birthday. And I'm really embarrassed that I forgot one of my best friend's birthdays. And
Sync those to your phone calendar.
yeah, I actually don't know how to do that. You can sync your Facebook to your phone.
Yes.
I don't
Yeah,
actually want to do
Afterwards, we'll set up a workshop with Llama and the doctor, so we can teach her how to use her phone.
that. Well,
Sounds like a good.
Yeah.
yeah, teach me how to not forget my friends' birthdays. But the reason
I mean, yeah, seems like you have a legitimate excuse though.
Yeah, no. So, did we get into that? You got tested for COVID.
I was supposed to yesterday and I didn't, and that's actually really complicated. So
Okay, I'm sorry.
Foucault, why I forgot my best friend's birthday. We can forget that, but anyway, so she is fluent in French. Her English is better than my French. And so when we are physically together, we go through which language we speak depends on what we're talking about. And if it's philosophy in French, I can write or read it, but I might not be able to say it. And so, and when I was in college, we had a running joke that I couldn't pronounce crepe properly. And the crepes that you eat. And
Right.
so there's a joke about the pronunciation, and French is a beautiful language, and the pronunciation matters. The same word can sound the same and be spelled differently and mean a lot of things, but you can't hear the difference. One of my favorite French philosophers is Jacques Derrida, and I heard him give a lecture in English when I was a freshman in college. And the whole lecture was like 3 hours about the single sentence, "There shall be no mourning." But
I'm sorry, MOURN or MORN?
So it was mourning, like when you wake up, but also
Okay,
mourning,
okay.
like death. Right. So it actually relates to this conversation.
Okay.
But I don't know how, because I don't have a text of that lecture. And my French and my philosophy wasn't good enough to understand what he was saying. all I remember is the man who I love was alive and was this is the only time I saw him in person. And the only sentence I remember is "There shall be no mourning." And I know it was about the concept of difference, which is specifically about how we don't know what that word is. Is it mourning? Is it death? Is it a combination? It's actually both. And so the reason why I love Foucault so much in French, I have to hear.
I mean, wow.
I have to hear it in his voice. Okay, I'm about to go full blown geek. Please tell me if you want me to stop.
Please don't.
Oh no, God,
this is
no.
awesome.
Can I really? You're gonna let me play something?
We're not gonna get to like 75% of the questions we had for you.
I'm a little embarrassed that I'm about to play this for you. I really don't want this to be condescending. Okay.
Okay.
No worries.
Is it French?
Yeah. Hold on.
I probably won't understand
This
it.
is the first time we've ever had French on the live.
God, I hope it's a Flight of the Conchords song.
Oh my God, I love Flight of the Conchords. Let's not go down that right now.
Tout simplement parce qu'ils n'appartiennent à aucun espace.
Can you hear it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oui.
Oui. Merci beaucoup.
À vrai dire, dans l'interstice de leurs mots, dans l'épaisseur de leurs récits.
Okay, I'm gonna stop this because I don't think the audio is good enough. The reason why I want to play this for you is the sound of his voice matched with the original French is artwork. This is an album on Spotify. My favorite philosopher is on Spotify. You can listen to it in the original French. It's actually better if you don't know what it means, because then you can only pay attention to the sounds. I'm serious, right?
Love it.
And I know that you get that because you're Fish fans and you probably don't speak Japanese, but you might know the words to the meat stick dance in Japanese.
Yeah.
Right? It's not what it says, it's the meaning of it's how it sounds, and it's also a dance, right? It's something that you do with your body. You might even know the choreography to the yum trampolines.
Yeah, the progression of which way they're facing and when they do a 180 versus a 360.
We have to do that next week, by the way. We all need to do the yum dance.
Oh my God.
Yeah, or meat stick with the guests.
Well, yeah, meat stick's
party.
easy. I think yum's the big challenge, man.
So
you just want to see me jump on YouTube.
I do want to see you jump on YouTube. Yep.
I would like to see you jump on YouTube, preferably with the choreography and a trampoline.
Oh, well, yeah, if you got a trampoline, absolutely.
I have a trampoline, but it's in my office, and I can't.
But you can't get to it.
Damn it! COVID.
As soon as I am allowed in my office, I will make this promise to you. I will go get my trampoline, and then we'll schedule a time so that I can jump on my trampoline and you can teach me the yum choreography because I don't actually know it.
Oh, yeah,
Deal.
piece of cake.
We're there. We'll do it.
Really?
Hey, can we, Doctor, do you mind if we talk about fish for a second?
If you promise to call me Doctor.
I'm sorry, Stephanie. Do you mind if we talk about fish for a second?
When you use it on me, I reject it. The reason why I'm doing that is I want us to just talk like we're friends.
Okay. All right.
But I also appreciate that you've used my professional title because sometimes my students don't know what to call me, and that can be confusing for them.
So, do you prefer Steph or Stephanie as your casual?
Either one's fine. And actually, I prefer maybe the one that you like that sounds the best, and it can be an F or a PH. Because when I was a kid, before I was a Fish fan, my name was Stephanie. How deep is this rabbit hole? Oh my God.
Oh no, here we go. Woo! Woo!
This is public because I had my tenure party and invited a bunch of friends, and my nursery school teacher told this story. When I was a kid, this is my nursery school teacher. Her name is Mrs. Clark. Hold on.
I asked such an innocent question.
Yeah, I'm so sorry that I.
No, I love this.
No, this is awesome.
I love this.
Yeah, no, I'm my own rabbit hole, and sometimes I need a life jacket. So if you think I need to get pulled out, you've got my number, right? So this is my other unicorn costume that Mrs. Clark made for me. right?
Wow.
I'm 39 years old and I'm still friends with my nursery school instructor. That's how much I loved her. The reason why, so my mom used to take me to the Nutcracker. I hate Christmas. I hate Christmas. It's a dangerous holiday. That's a different lecture.
Dude, I was gonna say, do we want to go down that hole?
Yeah, that's
maybe
creepy.
Maybe
That's-
we'll save the
don't-
Christmas one for
Don't wind
another
that.
episode.
Don't wind that up again. That's really creepy.
It's a Nutcracker song. It's beautiful. My mom gave this to me. It's
Okay, all right. If you think it's beautiful, that's fine.
Okay.
That's your thing.
Wow.
No, I'm just saying it
I
like
hate
that's
Christmas.
okay.
But my mom gave this to me, so it's on my desk. And the reason why is that my mom used to take me to see the Nutcracker when I was a kid. And I loved it so much that one day I showed up at nursery school and said, yeah, I'm not Stephanie anymore. My name's Clara. And I made everybody in my life had to call me Clara. My parents, my
How old were you?
5-ish.
Was this a middle name? Where did this come from?
No, Claire's a character in the Nutcracker.
Yeah.
Oh, that's okay.
That's the girl.
Okay, Llama.
Thank you for knowing that. I don't know the characters of the Nutcracker.
Don't
I knew
worry.
that too. We were just clarifying it for the audience.
Yeah. When it
Clearly.
comes to the cultural arts, I got you. Don't worry about it.
Okay, thanks.
That's why we
bro.
keep you around, Llama.
All right.
Yeah.
Anyway.
She danced. She was a beautiful dancer, so much so that I was a ballerina for a very brief period because I wanted to be like her and perform in the Nutcracker. I was also in Peter Pan. I was one of the I think the technical term, like casting character, was that I was one of the Indians. And I now know how offensive that is as someone who researches, right, philosophy and the intersections of gender and race, like that in Bangor, Maine, we should have done better, right? And the problem was that Bangor, Maine is a super white town and I didn't learn a lot about race growing up. But that's fine. Since I'm down that rabbit hole, just very briefly, I am on the education committee for Fans for Racial Equity. And I just want to thank all of you for your support for free, because that is, I got into fish studies because of free, right? Like that's how much I love the work that they're doing, is that's really important to me. And so anybody who's hearing this, who has signed the free jam band community equity statement, thank you. If you haven't signed it, please do, and consider doing the work that would be necessary for you to be worthy of having signed on to that.
Is there a quick website we can direct people?
Yeah,
to?
I have it. And actually, Kev runs our social media. After this, I'll send it to you. Let's get it out
Or
on
just-
our
somebody
channels.
post it in the
We'll
YouTube
share it
chat.
again. It
Yeah.
went out about almost a month ago, I think, but
Yeah,
we'll get it out again and keep the message going. But
because we are 100% on that train. So.
I have a request from the chat.
okay.
yeah.
They would like to return back to you representing aliens.
Well, the chat.
It starts with Clara. Why I'm the human representative of alien is that when I was a kid, that I was this smart, that I knew who I was, right? That I wanted to be Clara, and I also wanted to be a bird. Okay, Mom, I'm really sorry. I'm about to tell this story. I'm gonna bush it right.
What kind of bird?
So my mom was a feminist activist when I was a kid. And she took me, I don't remember what the event was. It might have been I went to one of her college classes. This is why you need her to tell the story. It might have been it was something related to voting rights for women. And it's actually really significant that I remember what she said, but I don't remember what it's about, because I have a PhD in women's studies and I know the history, and all I remember is what my mom said. Right, I could know exactly what bill it was and look it up, but I don't actually care. It's what my mom said, and what my mom said to me. Well, I said, why did you take me here, Mom? And she said, Stephanie, it's because I want you to be able to be anyone that you want to be when you grow up.
Wow.
And I thought about it, and I said, Mom, I know what I want to be. What do you think I said?
A bird named Clara.
How the hell did you know?
I'm paying
I'm serious.
attention. You built up this. Yeah, that's what you've been talking about.
So
Your identity. That's what you wanted to be.
No one has ever seen me that well in such a short period of time. So thank you for getting me. I really appreciate that. So in that conversation, what I said to my mom is, your answer is better than mine, because what I said is, Mom, I want to be a bird. And what's funny is that it's hard to answer that question, because if you say no, you're teaching your kid you can't be who you want to be. And if you say yes, you're encouraging what I did, which is that I heard, yes, you can be a bird if you want to. So I spent a significant period of my life when I was a kid climbing up on the highest things I could find and jumping and trying to fly because my mom told me I could.
Right, which could be obviously dangerous. And
yeah, those aren't the jumps that almost killed me, right? The first jump that almost killed me was a horse. So, but it's because my mom told me I could fly, and so I spent a lot of time trying, and I still am. It's just, and I do my own stunts. It's just my stunts now are conceptual ones. And so anyway, so
that's
I wanted
a solid line, by the way.
Yes,
that's a moment.
Okay, thank you for that.
That'd be a good philosophy for Wook Plus too. That's exactly where we're at pretty much as well. I think that makes sense. That's awesome.
It really helps me to hear you all say that, because really we're just in the very deepest depths of my rabbit hole. And I the past couple of weeks I've been talking about this stuff pretty openly for a variety of reasons. One is that we're in a global pandemic, and I have been self-isolating and staying at home since mid-March. The only people I have seen have been my medical providers and one friend. And the reason why is because my bubble has to be really small because I'm immunocompromised. I do have a party for that. This is from the bubble room.
Oh, look at that. That's awesome.
Welcome to my party. Yeah, I like bubbles. So do my friends. So anyway.
My daughter's obsessed with bubbles, by the way. If you ask her what her favorite word is or put a microphone in front of her face, she just goes nuts. Bubble, 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 bubble. Loves
you also
bubbles.
do a kid-friendly version where you look out with your kids. That would be awesome.
We were talking about doing like a friends and family episode, but maybe season 2.
Bubbles. So I wanted to be a bird. I realized I was going to hurt myself at some point because the flying wasn't working. And then around, I don't actually remember the order, and I have to talk to my parents to get this, but at some point around the same time, I decided my name was Clara. And so I didn't ask for permission. I just did it and made the adults in my life play my game, which is hilarious. And it got so deep that at some point they had to pull me aside and say, Stephanie, you can't play this game anymore. You actually have to go to school. Right. So they made me be Stephanie. I'm like, okay, I get that I have to be Stephanie, but I'm the one that decides who Stephanie is. So then I just started changing the spelling of my name. So my name has been Stephanie with a PH. It's been Stephanie with an F. It's been Stephanie with 2 Fs. The Y has also been an I, E, a Y, and all the iterations of different combinations of that, because I was a kid and this was how this, there's only so many things that you can do as a kid, and finding
and
out.
It's kind of a way of controlling your identity. My sister did that. I remember distinctly, changed her name. Her name's Kate, from K-A-T-E to K-A-I-T. And I remember having a conversation with her much later about wanting to control her identity and what her name meant and who it was. And it sounds very similar to that. Are you sensitive to people misspelling it then, since you've gone through so many iterations? I mean,
not only do I
love it.
That's an awesome look.
Not only am I not sensitive to it, my family will send me emails or text messages with different versions of it because they know I think it's funny.
Oh, that's awesome.
My dad calls me Steph with 2 Fs.
Nice.
That's how cool
I personally like the PH. For obvious reasons,
Yeah.
I like that version of it.
I'm just calling you doctor. I don't care what hat you have on. Like that's too complicated. It's either it's Dr. Clara. You're just Dr. Clara.
Okay, just so you know, my best friends call me Dr. Stephanie, but they call me Dr. Stephanie. So I don't actually care what you can call me whatever you want. I've got my funky bitch glasses on. You can call me Dr. Funky Bitch if you want to.
Can I ask you a question I've been dying to ask, please?
You can ask and I'll answer it.
Okay. My question is, when you went to your department and you pitched this fish class, what was that experience like? Like were they looking at you like you're out of your damn mind? And like, how did you get greenlit to do this class? Because it's impressive, and it hopefully the audience knows by this point. She teaches a class. She teaches at Oregon State University in Corvallis.
PHL 360.
What's that? Oh, you know the class number?
Well,
She
no,
just
because
like-
I love that the number was 360, and maybe offline. I don't know how interesting the question was, but I didn't know if she got to choose that it was 360.
Okay.
Right,
All
like
right.
the full
So
view. But anyway, back to your question.
what was that like when you pitched? I mean, I'm assuming you pitched this class. Nobody came to you with this, right?
Can
Dr. Clara?
Dr. Clara, I love you so much.
I'm just.
You call me Dr. Clara. Her last name is Carmen. Dr. Clara Carmen.
Oh, that's a good soap opera name, but I don't want to
Dr.
get sidetracked.
Cece?
So
We could turn this into a soap opera if we want to, but I prefer that we not do that. So
yeah, no.
Hey, with all these doctors flying around, Chad, where's your sonic screwdriver?
I need to see the sonic screwdriver immediately, and I won't answer any questions until you tell me what it is. I gotta make my
Dr.
Zoom.
Hill.
Doctor.
Hill. He had a sonic screwdriver. That was his weapon or his.
That's from
tool.
Doctor Who.
Man, you guys are sidetracking my question so bad. My question was legit. Like, what?
Let's hear it. Let's
I
hear
blame
it.
What was
Kevin.
it?
Here's the deal. So what we're gonna do is, if someone has a question that's important, we as a group
Timer.
are gonna decide how much time we commit to that question because someone we care about has said it's important. Who's not smoking weed?
You're in the wrong room. You're in the wrong room. No, Llama, don't lie. Llama.
That's tea,
No, he's
and I'm
not.
Llama's eating weed. So just
Okay, I don't know which sunglasses I need to say this, but if you're talking,
I
They
like
don't-
those. Those are new. Oh,
hang
I
on.
like the other ones. Those are good too.
I need a different hat. I need a different hat for this. I don't know which one. I have my unicorn costume.
okay.
Here
This is how you pitched. So we're about to hear how
Yeah,
you
I think-
pitched.
You guys
Chad,
talk amongst yourselves. I'm gonna find the right hat to tell you that story, and I'll be back. But I can hear you.
Okay, but bookmark that. Bookmark that.
No,
because I
yeah,
do
no,
wanna
we got
know.
this. We're gonna talk amongst ourselves
Yes.
about your question so that we don't forget your
Yes.
question for when she comes back.
I think
I was
it
gonna
went-
suggest-
Go ahead.
I was gonna suggest 15 minutes, but maybe 10. 10 minutes should be an appropriate
10
amount of
seems
time.
solid.
A solid
But-
10 minutes, I think, would be good.
Or
On-
we
on-
ask her
on
how
how
long the
about-
pitch actually took. I'm sorry, Llama. I
No,
didn't mean to
so
interrupt.
wait, can I digress while she's doing this real quick? Because I don't think we're gonna get back
Absolutely.
to it, but it was an awesome moment.
You mean
so-
Ricky Henderson?
Oh no, not that.
No.
When
Okay.
Stephanie and I were talking this weekend, I think she was alluding to it with the yes and was about the hygiene hat. So I,
shit.
being a, I know she heard me. I know. So I haven't yet, but what I want to do is use my technical skills as an engineer to print up blueprints on how to assemble your own hygiene hat and distribute it amongst the community. If you would like, you can download the blueprints to the hygiene hat.
So we can all go to shows then?
Are they available? Are the blueprints available? This is literally the
They're
only-
not yet. I had a busy start to my week, but they will be soon. I will draft them up and we will have blueprints available for the hygiene hat. And if you're not familiar, the hygiene hat is the high hat modified to dispense.
We saw Trey's video, the one
Yeah,
on
yeah.
Instagram, yeah, with the squirt.
Yeah. So I'm gonna do blueprints for that. So that's what she was talking about. But that way we can get back to your question, Chad.
I don't know if we
was-
need blueprints for that. It seemed pretty self-explanatory. Like when I
Well,
looked
if
at
you're a
it,
genius
it's
like
not
you are.
Well, I'm not a genius. I'm just like I'm looking at like I know how a hi-hat works and I know how a hand dispenser works, and it's not.
I have
that-
a question about this blueprint. Can you color code it?
No, blueprints are actually not blue. They're black and white now. They used to
What
be
the
blue.
fuck?
Well, then
At
what is
least
blueprint
number them.
blue?
I don't know how I
So the
I
way
have
they
it.
used to replicate drawings in the past was
Was
with
dittos.
ammonia, and it would make the copies of the prints blue.
What?
But now
But
with laser
they're-
printers, you don't need that anymore.
So blueprints aren't blue anymore?
No.
No, and they're not even called blueprints either.
What are they
Only like
called?
70-year-old builders call them blueprints. They're called drawings.
Really?
Yeah.
My world is shattered right now. I just
know.
don't know what world.
It's like a copy machine and a ditto machine from when you were in elementary school, and they had the ditto machine and they were purple and they smelled
Ditto
like
machine was when you were in elementary school. You're a little bit older than me. I don't think
2 or 3 years.
I had Apple IICs in my.
All right, guys, let's get back to Dr. Clara Carmen.
Yeah, but Went and I are
Is that
getting
a
back to this
KKG
fight.
hat?
Yeah.
Oh,
My wife was in KKG.
Can I meet your wife and give her the secret handshake?
You
can, but not on YouTube because then it wouldn't be secret. But
Well,
next
yeah.
time we're
Well,
in
well, no,
Oregon,
In order for me to actually touch her and do it, no one else can see it. It's secret. We can do it in public.
I know we'll have to do it after the pandemic.
Tell her I volunteer to show up here and sing the song Pat with her and do the dance, and I'll totally do that in public. Okay, so right
All right,
now.
so wait, Stephanie, I got to give you parameters real quick, everybody. We have to answer. I want to discuss the pitch of the fish philosophy class, but then we're gonna have Scott in the wings. So we're gonna set.
How much
we're
time
gonna
do we have until Scott gets here? I'm gonna set a timer.
We're gonna set 8 minutes. You have 8 minutes. You could round it up to 10.
I've got 8 minutes to tell you. Okay, just so you know, when I was at Emory University in a sorority, I was also a competitive debater. And so the reason why the timer matters is that I can fit an hour conversation into a 5-minute limit if I speak quickly enough.
And start on time, right?
Yeah,
That's
but oh yeah, I'm not starting the timer yet. Right. Okay, so timer off, just out of fairness to Scott. So but to do that, I will speak so quickly that only people who speak that language can follow. So
or people from New Jersey.
I will do that without realizing it. And so I actually have to tell my students, if I speak too quickly, tell me to slow down. Because if I'm talking about something I'm excited about, I will start doing what's called spreading just by accident because I love it. And I don't actually it's not intentional. So timer's on. I have 5 minutes to tell you the story about what, wait, no, I actually need to know what the topic is before I start the timer.
The topic
Pitching the fish
pitching
class.
pitching your class
Okay.
to the department.
So to do that story, I have put on my Alice Stop Doing Drugs shirt.
Nice.
Because I love
Seems
Alice.
reasonable.
I have my Socrates doll, my sorority hat on, and my Foucault puppet, and also my hi-hat. Okay. So I don't remember timer's on now. I don't remember what I brought. I set it for 5 minutes. The timer is important because the rabbit hole needs parameters. If you don't give it to me, I will find the line, I promise, and probably faster than any of us planned on. So my colleagues, when I got my job, I said in a faculty meeting something like, you guys, I think in order to do the kind of philosophy that I want to do, it will require puppets and some music. So right now what I have is my Freud puppet. Say hi to Dr. Freud.
Hi, Freud.
Hi, Dr.
His
Freud.
couch. And so, later, when we get to couch tour, if you want to sit on my Freud couch and talk to my Foucault puppet, we can do that. But anyway, the reason why I'm intentionally kind of telling you stuff that might sound a little weird is that this is who I am. I am so weird that this is fun for me, right? That I want to talk about philosophy and big books. I might whip out my French book. I might read you poems. I might play something on my hi-hat. We're in my home office. I have a curveball screen up because this is where I teach. And because I don't know if this is a personal thing or a professional thing, I don't know you all well enough to bring you into my house. So we're in curveball because this is where the world is now. We're all in curveball.
Fair enough.
So
That's
anyway,
fair. That's why I have the background too.
I got for my first job out of grad school, this job, which has turned into my dream job. But I didn't believe that when they told me that I could do anything that I really could. Because the problem is if you don't tell me no, I don't know where your line is, and I promise I'll find it. So my colleagues told me, you can do anything you want. And I showed up to a faculty meeting and I brought some toys. It would have been whatever puppet I had and a painting and a copy of my degree, which has my full name, my legal name on it, and it says Dr. Stephanie Jenkins, PhD, philosophy and women's studies from Penn State. Right, so I have a dual PhD, and I brought it to a meeting and I said, you realize when you tell me that I can do anything I want, that's dangerous for you because I'm going to do something you don't want me to do. And here's how I know that, which is I brought a puppet and a painting and something that makes a lot of noise. And at some point along the way, you're going to get mad at me. And if you don't tell me what the line is, I'm going to break that rule. And then I'm the one that has to apologize or deal with the consequences because at that time I did not have tenure. And so along the way, I pitched this class, and very carefully, when people very high up told me that I could do it, I said, I don't actually think you know what you're saying. So the first person who said, yes, you should teach a class about fish, this goes way back to when I was a graduate student. If we talk about REM, I can tell you where I got the idea. But right now we're talking about fish, and I have 2 minutes left.
Back up, fam.
2 minutes left. Okay. So I went to my at the time, his name was Ben Muchler. He was my boss. And I said, Ben, I have this idea and it's my dream project. I want to teach a class about fish and philosophy. And he said, yeah, you should do that. I'm like, no, I don't think you believe me that I want to do this. I want to take students to shows because they need to be there. He's like, yeah, you can do that. Yeah, you don't know what you're talking about. He said, yes, I do. This isn't a word for, I need puppets for this. Who's Ben? Ben is going to be my Plato puppet. And the reason why Ben is the Plato puppet is Plato was Socrates' student. So Ben's not here to speak for himself. So I guess in this conversation, I'm the student. So I don't actually need a puppet to be myself. Ben is the Socrates. So anyway, he said, yeah, I was in a band with Mike Gordon when I was in high school.
No, so wow, he like legit.
Yeah, I mean, he's not a
understands what you were trying to say.
He's not a fish fan, but he's a musician. He's a gifted musician and a gifted historian. So he knows enough to know what the risks are. He said yes. So I went over his head and went to my dean. My dean's name is Larry Rogers, and he has supported my career in ways that I don't even think he fully understands because he's made my dream project possible and he's not a fish fan. So Larry, if you're watching, thank you. But here's what he did. I went to his office and I said, look, this is what I want to do. I want to take students to fish shows. And what do you think he said to me?
Well, it sounds like he's a cool dude. So he said yes.
He didn't just say yes.
He said, fuck yes.
He said, well, he's a dean and I'm a woman who's below him in his career. So he didn't use the word fuck. Right?
Well done, Dean. Well done.
Yeah, well, good job, Larry.
Yeah, no, he got why this conversation was complicated. So he said, yeah, you should do that. And why don't you get a bus and put your students on it and take them to some shows?
Unbelievable.
Yeah, no, and I'm like, yeah, I don't want to do that. I'm not responsible for that. I don't want to be responsible for a bus load of college students at fish shows. I have a colleague, Rebecca Adams, who did that with the Grateful Dead. And her work, observing her, reading her publications, and talking to her about what she did and why, has been some of the most valuable professional mentoring for me in my career. And I don't know if she knows that, and I don't think she's watching this, but like this is my public thank you, and this is my yes end to what she did decades ago with a busload of college students at Grateful Dead concerts.
Amazing.
Hey, Steph, I don't want to be rude, but I know Scott's been hanging for a while. Do you mind if we bring him in and
please bring Scott? No,
continue the
so I
conversation?
told you enough of the story that I think that we should talk about a different one. Let's talk about Scott instead of me.
All right, let's let me see if I can do this. It's 11 episodes in. I think I got it. That was for you.
It's so much
Chad.
responsibility.
So much responsibility.
A member of the Fishnet Setlist team as well as a board member for the Mockingbird Foundation. It's party time! No, wait, is it? Oh well, it's Scott Marks!
Let's not talk to Scott. Let's just let Mike's song just play out for the next 20 minutes,
Right?
or so, right? Like we don't need.
Oh, and actually,
Oh, hey Scott, I didn't see you in here. Hi, how you doing, man?
Great. How are you?
awesome. I love your choice of background, by the way. We were talking yesterday about what you might go with, and you killed it. Send out the clones.
Clones.
Nice.
I
Thanks
tell
for
you,
having me.
I never thought I would see two Page clones kind of grinding on each other a little bit, but I enjoyed that. That was actually very exciting for me. The clone show was meaningful in a lot of ways for me, Scott. I don't know about you.
Yeah, I thought it was fantastic. Really cool way to see them end up last year.
Yeah, that was a great show.
I'm kind of a choir kid geek, so that was like the perfect, gag for them to do. Was literally a choir kid thing.
That sand, man. Oh my God. I remember just listening to it, my jaw just hitting the floor, like just with the choir on it. Oh my God. It was like listening to the great, what are the Giant Country Horns, like back in the day. Like it added that element to something I already love. And then I'm like, oh, wow. And then, Trey got stuck.
Well, and the choreography on top of it was breathtaking.
Beautiful, gorgeous.
Just a fantastic job. It's almost
was
like a
the
Broadway
last-
production.
That was the last live thing I saw.
Oh,
And it seems super appropriate with the whole rescue squad ending. And Scott, were you there?
Yeah.
How did you feel while that was going on? Because I'll give you the 2-second version of mine. I was panicky. I had, from my perspective, when Trey got stuck, I had an unbelievable amount of anxiety and panic. And did you take it seriously? What were you thinking when that was all going on?
I really wasn't, for having such an analytical mind, I really wasn't paying a lot of attention to it. Just kind of, the show was going on after the pause, and it just happened. And then it kind of settled in later on. It's like, oh, well, sorry.
Nice.
Maybe it's, wow, this actually happened. So just trying to, absorb it, I guess, later on. But I was like 2 rows back. This is actually one of my photos that I took.
Oh, that's your photo from the night?
Clones. Maybe it was different watching it at home, or,
Well, I was up on the bridge for the very first time, and I could see Trey's face. Like I was directly in line with him, and I could see his face and those like quick, like little panic moments. And then he realized where he was and like played cool. But like every once in a while when the platform would shake, and he'd be and then he'd be all right. And as soon as I saw that look on his face, I couldn't watch. It was terrifying to me.
It was hard to see from my angle though, because I was really just looking up.
That might be the
as
difference.
opposed to looking out at what was going on. But yeah, I figure if you're 25, 30 feet up, it must have scared the shit out of them. I don't know how I would have done up there myself, but
not well.
When the show went on, it was great. On with the shows, they say.
They did have straps on though, didn't they? Like have something to secure them.
Dude, like
I don't think so.
Well, I mean, I think he had a fall cable, but still, even I don't know. That's terrifying. I guess everybody has a different tolerance and fear, but anyway, did you expect to be talking about that when you came on?
I had no idea what we were talking about tonight outside of the hints from earlier in the show. So
yeah. So my main question is the party time question, but not what the actual result or whether or not it was a tease or a segue. I want to know how sick you are of being asked about that occurrence in that specific set list.
I really haven't gotten too involved with it.
Oh, really? You weren't really the ending deciding factor on that? How does that
I'm
work?
not going to get into how the set list was determined, so we can go to another subject if you want.
That's not you, though?
It's
I'm
confidential
not
right
saying
there.
anything one way or the other. We're just
That's
going to move away from
classified.
that one.
I'll change
That's
this.
smart because people get mad. I know, Scott. You see it online, you see it on Twitter. Like people got very heated about this particular situation, and
Yeah,
so
it's
some
people
it's a-
want
it's
the
a-
Sellers to be how they have it in their minds, and if it's not the way they want it, they get kind of offended or really passionate about it, or so it's just not worth getting into like a year and a half later, and stirring up more controversy.
So how much of your team? So how many people are on that team? And like, what? I guess is it like do you literally get on a conference and call and be like, "Hey, let's talk this over," or what's that process like?
So there are 4 of us on the team. I'm probably the primary person that is involved with a lot of the set list updates. So I have the Twitter account BizArchive, where people will tweet at me, they heard a tease here or this was quoted or something, and then I'll listen to it, and then if I agree, I'll add the note and give the person credit. And also we have people that submit corrections through fish.net, and it goes into like this queue or a library of emails, I guess, that we can go back and look through.
The round
something
file?
like that.
Kev sounds like he waited.
A lot of what comes through the set list is coming through the community.
Sure.
And sometimes people will hear things that are kind of borderline. Other times it's clear cut, night and day. But it's, if I'm not sure about something, I might toss it around to other people on the team. I've chosen to be the one to enter all the stuff in. I have a tease chart that I work with on fish.net. I also have a Google Doc. It's not like people haven't offered to help input stuff in there. I just kind of like keeping track of what's going on.
It.
Not really maintaining control of it, but just, if someone adds something, just let me know so I can update my document.
I wasn't being accusational. I just was projecting because when I work, these guys will speak to it. Like I like to maintain control over certain things, right?
So you sound like Tim. I was gonna say, hey, we know exactly what that's like, Scott. So no, but it's understandable, 100%. I can't imagine what that document looks like, honestly. Like I'd love to just glance at it once.
Oh, he's asking for a favor
it's
now.
You can see most of it on fish.net.
Oh, okay.
There's a
Gotcha.
tease chart on there. Right. I have a document that also has timings that I'm working on filling out. As far as party time goes, you have 2 trains of thought. One, that it was played. One that it wasn't. You had the lyrics that were there, but you didn't have the music. And so you can get into like a huge discussion that could take up a whole nother episode of the lot as to what constitutes a song. Do you need to have,
and we have a philosophy professor, so we could really dive into what constitutes a song.
But again, so it's like if you have people that decide, well, all right, there's no music here, the song wasn't played, then it's not in there. It's sung, but it's not actually played. So it's kind of the reasoning with it not being in the set list file. But you could talk to 10 fans of the concert, and 5 are going to say one thing and 5 are going to say another.
And I never thought of it this way, but as you're saying that, I'm realizing that the least controversial outcome would be a tease versus a segue, because if you classified it as an isolated song that was played, it affects statistics, right? It affects the stats and the song counts. Whereas if it's a tease, it's an isolated thing. So it almost feels like I don't want to put words in your mouth, but if you're unsure if there's that much controversy, the default, it feels like, is to lean towards tease because it doesn't affect the rest of the stats.
Well, it's not really a stat-based decision. You have stuff like Kung and Catapult where there is no music. So it's literally just the lyrics, and you can kind of get away with putting that into a set list. When you have other parts to a composition, even if Party Time's not really that developed, it's Fishman song, so you get what you pay for, I guess. There's more to it than just the lyrics. That
Great point.
there's drums, there's the keys, there's guitar, and if those things aren't there, then again, is the song actually played? And you're going to have people that are going to have different opinions one way or the other on it. And it was a pretty big controversial thing when it happened at the show, and then through like the months afterwards, and then with the dinner of the movie recently where they brought the show back. So people are going to have their opinions, and they're going to stick to it, with just how a lot of things are.
Do you have an opinion, and was it made public? And if not, or even if it was, can you share it here?
As far as I'm concerned, you need to have the music in there for it to actually be party time.
All
I
right.
agree.
So that's where
I
I stood on it. I really didn't wade into
disagree.
it on Twitter. See, we already have one of the people on our podcast.
No,
that
I
doesn't
just,
agree with me.
I'm like, I'm just throwing flames. Like,
Right.
I honestly don't like. Okay, so what would the band say that they segued into party time?
I don't talk to the band, so I can't answer that for you.
Well, but that's what I'm saying. Like, but if you put yourself in the mentality of like in Trey's headspace, would
Well, I
he
think that's the
say-
mistake, though. I don't think Trey thinks like we do. I don't think he sees any of this the way we do.
No,
I
he's
think
not
it's
writing it
just
down. Right.
Could you,
he's-
could you categorize it as a mashup?
Again,
Oh,
everyone's
no.
going to have their own different way of interpreting the set list. So, it's what
we're gonna take the entire segment talking about party time. we have Scott Marks here. We could ask
We
him a
have
million
so
questions.
much time to kill, man. I will
Yeah.
talk about.
No.
I will talk with Scott Marks about this for an hour, man.
I think you guys wanted to know about the origin of Biz Archive.
Yes, I
Yes.
do.
So
Let's
I
talk
can
about
tell
that.
you about that.
Yeah.
So Fantasy Tour, and before that, Gadiel's board, I was Bizarro Jerry. Seinfeld fan. I love the Bizarro Superman concept, and so that was my handle. And when MySpace came out, now we're going down our own rabbit hole here, tying it all together, right? So I had my own page, and I had something for where I was going to upload shows. This is in 06, 07, when we were just starting to get a lot of the shows online. And so I was using SendSpace and the MediaFire, and Bizarro Jerry was taken. So I created Bizarchive, which is a cross between Bizarro Jerry and Archive. And so that name kind of stuck. And when I joined Twitter in 2011, Bizarro Jerry was taken again. So I just kept the Bizarchive, and I've had that for 9 years.
When you don't, if you don't know that story, it always seems like Business Archive, right? Like that's like the default where my mind went, but it makes so much sense. Well, I mean, obviously with the picture, but I should have made that connection, I guess, from the pic. Oh yeah, there you go, T. It's exactly
The picture of the
Nice.
Bizarro Jerry from Seinfeld. That was my avatar for a while, and I took a break from that to help support Mockingbird. We've been doing,
which is awesome, but
fundraising.
all of you have the same one, and I've been communicating with Chip and Stephanie and you and Bill and AZN, and it's a little confusing when your DMs is like 6 people in a row have that as their avatar.
Well, we're all clones, and just like my avatar, it's brought to life here.
Is it okay if I come in real quick?
Yeah,
Sure.
go for it.
Yeah.
So, what I have been doing in the background is just Scott is my colleague. We're both directors for the Mockingbird Foundation. I am co-director of our COVID relief campaign with our friend and colleague Bill Ryan, who I think you all are having sometime soon. And you recently had Chip on, and that I don't know exactly how much you all raised during Wook Plus, but I would like to thank you, and I'm pretty sure Scott would also like to thank you for the funds that your program brought to our COVID relief campaign.
You guys have been fantastic. We really appreciate your support over the last several weeks, and it means a tremendous amount to us.
So
That-
what
that
I was
Mockingbird.
doing, because Scott is here and because he's my colleague for the Mockingbird Foundation, I was trying to put on a Mockingbird shirt. This is one from the Dick's opener, the golfing tournament at Dick's last year, and I went there and hung out with some of our co-directors, including Ellis Goddard, who gave me this shirt. And what's really funny is that I didn't get back to him in time because I was not responsive to email last summer about what size. So he gave me I don't know, it's a large in men's. It doesn't fit me. So what was funny was that I had underneath it the one that does fit me, which is our blue. This is blue like our logo, right? And Scott just showed you our campaign. I think it was Scott. I saw it on Zoom. All right, so this one actually fits me. So I had this one on and I put the other one over it because I wanted to tell you a story about how I signed up to play golf at this tournament. And one of our friends and colleagues, I'm not going to call him out here. It's not a call out. It's a funny story, but I don't have his permission to say he told me I couldn't. But Scott, one of our friends and colleagues told me I wasn't allowed to play golf. So because I'm not a golfer, right? I've never played golf in my life.
You can play on the Wook Plus team. We're gonna have a Wook Plus team when Dix comes back, and you're on it.
true.
Stephanie.
Yes, we are.
Okay, I would totally do that. I would love to be. Can I please be on your golf team?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I'm not
That's
actually
official
gonna
now.
golf, but
Whoa. We have to watch her play a little bit. Like me and T are
not.
like, we're like,
Oh.
we're.
Well, then I'm
captains,
off the
man.
team. If you watch me play, I'm off. So I.
It's true. You probably are. I mean, we're only going for ringers here.
I'm good at
So,
putt putt.
Chad and I and some ringers.
I'm good at putt
can
putt. If I
have-
can get it on the green.
No, you're out. Went.
I think
Sorry,
we have
man.
enough to
You're
have
out.
two teams. We'll have the skill team and then the fun team, and
There we
Stephanie and
go.
I can be on the fun team.
I'll
You
join
guys
the
can
fun
go-
team too.
Yeah,
No skill
think
team over
Stephanie,
here.
Scott, and Fam is like the dream team, the fun team.
You haven't
Yes,
seen me and
totally.
T play golf. To call us the skill team is a little bit of a stretch. Like
In the
it's just a
context of
little
Wook
bit.
Plus.
Yeah.
Well,
Well, yeah.
It's more.
So-
it's skilled fun, is what it is.
Yeah.
So is the COVID relief campaign still going on at Mockingbird, or have you? I mean, I know you reached your initial goal, but is that our? Oh yes, she's setting the timer. I'm excited about
Okay,
this.
I have to tell you what the timer means. It's actually really important that I tell you this timer.
Okay.
So
He's the guy who does the stats.
this is back to why it matters that we're all gonna die. Which is,
I have that noted to be the callback
I
for
have-
the end of the show.
You are so amazing.
if I have my headphones on and the jam is good enough, I will forget where I am, what I'm doing, who I'm with, and what I'm wearing, and I will follow the jam wherever it leads me, including to my drums. Like if I'm home and I'm writing, sometimes it's okay, I gotta go outside with my dog and we're gonna dance it out. Sometimes it's I gotta go bang on my drums. Sometimes
I want to
it's
see your dog dance.
like, yeah, you've seen. We'll get there. Maybe it's this weekend. It was I have to. The only thing I need to do right now is put together my fish Lego stage.
She
which
will
is a
dance
funny
for
story.
food.
That Tim, this was my yes end to our hi-hat conversation. Look how cool it is that it has a real hi-hat. There's actually
That's awesome.
it's two cymbals.
That's the Grateful Legos, right?
yeah. So please don't let me forget to tell you this. It's here. I won't forget it because
I'm gonna make a note of that now.
but I have to tell you what the timer means, and I am breaking my Legos. So anyway, the time matters for music, right? It's not measured in seconds, it's measured in beats and measures.
Llama learned this last episode. He's not here right now, but we had a whole lesson on beats per minute.
And in terms of the party time,
7 beats per second.
Scott's his own person.
Scott was watching.
We did
Vibration of
that.
life. Vibration of life. Man.
Yeah.
Scott,
Dr. Claire Carmen. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Scott has told you what he'll
Nice.
talk about party time. I actually need to apologize to Scott because I'm obsessed with whether or not Fish played party time, but for different reasons than you probably think. And so I started kind of playing with heated debates on my Twitter account last week for some reasons that are complicated that I can explain later. I don't understand social media. I don't know how to use it. And I have been let me tell you about curveballs in the past 2 weeks. I'm teaching my online classes, which are so important to me that they are conceptual children, right? They're my babies. And I can't reach my students because I had a tech issue that affected my keys to my OSU account, right? The login and my password broke. I can't, this is the thing that's the most important to me. My students are more important to me than most things in the world. And it looks to me and it looks to them like I've abandoned them because I can't, Zoom wasn't working, Canvas wasn't working. If those things fail, I can't do my job. And so I spent, my students didn't see this, and so they might watch this. If you're here now, thank you for help with my dream project. Thank you for being a
Steph
part
did
of
not leave you.
And my sincere apology that I did not abandon you. Here's what I did, right? And what I did was I couldn't reach my students. So I called my boss and my director, Nicole von Germatan, who's a superhero to me, because she supported my dream project when I didn't believe in myself, right? When you asked me how the class happened, I told you that my dean and my director at the time supported me with that. When I came to her with the idea, I want to throw an academic conference about fish, right? Which is a different kind of rabbit hole and a different kind of risk, especially since I did that, not just before I went up for tenure, the year my tenure file was getting reviewed. And so I did the equivalent of jumping off a cliff, maybe skydiving without a parachute. And I did it because I believed, not in myself, but that this community would show up and support me when I was way over my head. And it was fun. It was worth it. It was my dream project. But the thing is be careful what you wish for, because when you're asking for a dream, what kind of dream? Maybe it's a nightmare, right? And there's a Fish song about it. I Saw It Again, one of my favorite songs. And there was a time when, it kind of came, I wasn't clear what kind of dream it was going to be, right? Is this a fantasy? Is it my dream life and project? Who's the team that's going to show up? And who's going to catch me if I fall, right? This is why I love the line, because it's a song about a really important sports movement. Even though I don't play basketball, I get it because I played it. I understand some of the rules. This is why I like sports, is that they're games with rules, and I like rules, especially imaginary ones. So I know very well what my book is in terms of what's written down, what the laws are, what's going to get me in trouble, and what rules that aren't written that will get me in trouble if I violate them. And I knew that some of that was going to happen.
You mentioned a couple of times tonight that you wanted to know the lines, right? Which I find fascinating, because when we had our conversation and then again tonight, it was, where is the line, right? You're talking to your dean, your director, you're talking to me, you're talking to us. And that's a very interesting perspective of trying to understand the parameters and the line so you know what to stay within. And I think it now in this context gives that song a new meaning. I personally don't love that song, but maybe I will now going forward, because like there's an extra layer to it.
So I sung that song a lot to myself because I saw the line and it wasn't clear if I was going to very publicly fall on my face, or if it was going to be the most important thing I ever did. And I still don't know, right? Because the thing is, so here's my Foucault puppet. For Foucault, friends are the people who speak the truth to you, because they see.
Foucault says that?
Yeah, Foucault says that. I could pull out the book, but you don't need me to read Foucault to you. It's not story time right now.
Maybe next episode.
It's not that kind of story
I
time.
saw you, Matt. I see you, Matt.
This is my Foucault puppet, right? And what he has taught me is that friends are the people who speak the truth to you. What truth means for him is a little bit complicated, but like this is me translating him, which is they see things in you about who you are, what you're capable of, what's possible for you, that you can't see yourself because you're so you that you're inside your own rabbit hole, right? Your friends are the people that come down into that rabbit hole and play puppets and Legos with you, or whatever. Your equivalent.
This is gonna stick with me for a very long time. Like these are the type of statements that roll off the tongue fairly easily, but then when you dissect them and digest them, it's, I think, gonna weigh on my head. I'm gonna wake up in a couple of nights and be like, man, do my friends see me? And like, who am I? What's that, Chad? Playing the line?
Oh no.
The note. The note.
Yeah, the note.
Somebody's gonna have to give context. Or not. I'm okay with that.
Can I ask Scott a
1 minute, Kev. I'll come back.
This goes on forever. There you go.
That was the note.
That was the note. Dr. Clara Carmen suggested that. As a
Nice
soundtrack.
placement.
Requested it, I should say.
I actually, so I almost said,
Are you crying?
yes.
Oh,
I was so prepared to kind of be mad, Chad. I was like, "You're interrupting," but then like, well done.
No, she had said like, "Hey, can you have this like ready to go?" And I was like, "Yeah, sure."
So I actually almost emailed you last night. I was up in a rabbit hole with that note last night, trying to figure out when I wanted you to play it. And what I realized is that that note, right? I mean, I knew this already, which is why I wanted you to play it. Which is, I don't know what that note says, but I heard and experienced and felt an idea with my entire body that I have only read about in philosophy books.
You were at that show then?
I was at that show.
Okay.
I can talk about this now because our friend and colleague has talked about it publicly, and so now I know that it's okay to say this. I heard that note, and the only way I know how to describe it was that it was a sign from God. And the thing is that I grew up in an agnostic or atheist household, depending on who you ask. I have no spiritual or religious framework for thinking about what it means to have a sign from God. And that note affected me so deeply that I resolved that I would never miss a show at Dick's Sporting Goods. It doesn't matter what's going on in my life. That place is sacred because I heard God there and God spoke to me. And I don't know if I actually believe in God, but that's the only language I have. Other than it, like, I think that note is it.
I feel that.
Right.
Hey, Scott.
I'm right there with you.
Scott, real quick, do you acknowledge the note in your and can we, if you haven't already, in the on the net? 2011 Dick's, Slave to the Traffic Light. The
12,
note.
right?
I think it's
that
11.
show, or 11 or 12.
I think it's 11.
Might be 11. I shouldn't speak out of turn.
Yeah. I don't know. You should do a set list submission and see if it gets in there.
So,
dude, I'm too deep in it. But one of the things I was messing around with on social media last week. Sorry, I'm being really rude. I'm eating, but if I don't eat, I'm gonna pass out. So
we'd rather you stay alive.
Yeah, eating's cool.
That's what the timer means. So I've told you that I have chronic illness and reflex sympathetic dystrophy. I'm also adrenally insufficient. This is public information. I have a medical ID bracelet that says adrenally insufficient, needs cortisol. The language and the words matter, because if you say adrenal, the emergency worker that shows up at my house might think adrenaline and give me the wrong shot and I'll die. Right. So that's why I'm telling you something that's deeply personal, is that you, like, a stranger might hear this and save my life at a concert. And that's what this is, right? Like, it's music for me. I shake my, like, it's if my dog runs away, I can shake anything and she comes running. And if I'm sitting here and I hear a note that I have to play along with, I'll play with it. But if I don't take this medication, I'm dead in 24 hours. Right. And so if I forget it, there's even, my shot is in my kitchen on the counter. And yesterday the world was so fucked up that I got pretty pissed at it and said, you know what? It's time for me to put a note on my door for what the emergency workers will do, because my brother called me and said, Stephanie, John, I'm sorry. I think it's okay for me to share this. I'm sorry if it's not, but he's given me permission to say anything I want. He called me and said, Stephanie, this is a global pandemic. And you have said, like, I've heard you cough and it sounds like COVID to me. And I read a story about a woman who sounded fine, and the next day she was found dead on her kitchen floor, and I don't want that to happen to you.
Jesus.
So this is why it matters that we're all going to die, because we're living in a global pandemic and COVID is so serious that you might not realize how sick you are. This is my oximeter, right? And the timer is so that I don't forget to check my oxygen. My cortisol I've already taken for today, so I'm good until tomorrow morning, right? If I forget to take this, my dog tells me that I forgot my medication, because sometimes the jam's that good that the timer on my phone that tells me that I have to take my life-saving medication goes off, and I'm too obsessed with John Fishman's hi-hat that I forget and don't give a shit that I have to take my pill. And my dog's the one that comes in and says, Stephanie, you need to eat and you need to take your pills. And we have a language that she's trained to speak. But the problem that happened, so Tim and I had the most amazing conversation on Saturday. I played with my Legos and built this. And then the next day, I realized, wow, that was so much fun that it was restorative and life-saving for me, because I haven't played like that in a long time, because my play is a Fish concert. There's no summer tour. I'm at home working, and what that means is that I'm not just working from home, I'm living at work. And I love my job so much that I will do it all the time. But if I don't take a break, I'm going to kill myself, right? And I can't be present for my students. So I took the weekend off, which I never do. It's the first time I took a weekend off this year that I remember. And what I did on Sunday was, it was so hot that I filled up the pool, like the kid pool that I have for my dog in the backyard, and decided that I needed to play with my animal friends. So I made like a setup for Mandy. I put on my headphones, and then I decided that I wanted to find. I've been looking for the pictures from my first Fish show for weeks, going through closets. I can't find it, and I learned this weekend that it doesn't exist because.
Hey, Steph.
Huh? Yeah.
Sorry, I was just playing the role of the timer. I didn't want to be rude, but I do want to get back to Scott too, because I want to be fair on timing.
Please, no, thank you. You're helping me, because I just get distracted.
I know, I get it. I mean, right now is tough times and it's hard, right? Like, we all go down these rabbit holes. But you know, I wanted to just have, while we have Scott on as well. Actually, Scott maybe can answer this too, but the COVID relief is still going on. So if you for Mockingbird. Yes. So if you guys have the opportunity, please, or have the means, please go out and donate.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, absolutely. Kev, I promised you I was going to get back. You had a question for Scott, right?
Yeah, I did. Scott, your post today on Fish Stats on Facebook was about the show where they debuted Blaze On and Shade and No Man's was today, right?
That's David Steinberg.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Sorry about that. Well, let me ask you.
Kev, we talked about this on the goddamn fucking thread.
All that build up
about this.
Right. No, but okay. Well, can I ask you the question anyway? What you think?
You can try, sure. I might not know the answer, but
no.
Go ahead.
Jesus.
Sorry, Tim. Sorry.
Oh, it's all right. I love you.
I feel like there was a complete change, because these were the first shows after the Fare Thee Well, in the way Trey was singing and things like that. And I think the new songs, like Shade particularly, are a complete turn for them, something new and different that they've expanded on over the past 5 years.
Was there a question there?
Yes. What does he think about that? Does he agree with me? Does he disagree? I guess it's a philosophical question. Sorry.
Oh my God.
I'd have to sit down and look at where the shift was. I think you could look at after Trey went to rehab, the songs kind of changed a little bit in terms of compositions, and the whole love and light, if you will, that there's been for like the last 4 or 5 years. Not always, you look at the Kosvat Vox stuff where that was a completely different writing style. And if Tom Marshall is writing the lyrics, then it's different. So yeah, I think the shift was before Fare Thee Well, though.
Okay,
you can go back to Joy with Light and Joy. where the songs had kind of shifted at that point as well.
Fair
That's
enough.
My
Good
2
answer.
cents on that.
Good answer. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Sorry, I totally screwed that whole thing up because we did talk about it earlier, and my head is where my head is.
Scott, so we were really excited to talk to you, right? And the rest of us were on the same page. And I get it. I'm not trying to throw Kev under the bus here, but he was like,
We're all
"Oh,
stat nerds."
Yeah, no, we love the stats. We love everything. The set list. We had a million questions. And Kev just chimes in. He's like, "Yeah, I've been using iHouse for 25 years." And we're all like, dude.
Hold on. Wait. Back up. It's iHose, not Haas.
It's the International
House
House
of
of
Pancakes.
Zissix.
I
I don't think there's an official.
It's
Haas. Yeah,
Really?
it's Haas.
Have I been pronouncing it wrong for 20 years? It's
Chad, I heard you do the countdown of the fish bracket. You've been pronouncing.
You're on the party time side as well, so you're
Yeah, you've been announcing.
No, iHose
Exactly.
as in, okay, so the whole classic story of Santana
So it's like I
and
hope
the Ho-
International House of Pancakes. I hope.
Oh, it's IHOP, but IHAS. IHAS
Right,
stands for the
right,
International
IHOS.
House of Zissix.
Okay, can I get
Oh
through
my
this
God.
for a second, please? So the whole
Sure.
idea of the hose, the musical philosophy of the hose was from Carlos Santana, who said he was a guitarist on stage. Matt's nodding with me. He understands. He said that he is the water, the audience is the flowers. I might be getting this wrong.
Yeah,
And
this is
the hose is the delivery system.
right.
I
That has
always
nothing
read
to
it-
do with the International House of Zissix, which is
Why
not
do you-
Scott Marks, by the way.
Or pancakes.
I know
Or
it's not
pancakes.
Scott Marks, but I want to settle it. It's not iHose.
No, it's IHAS.
I
Oh
disagree.
my goodness.
Like
All right, we'll
Haas.
put out a poll.
I believe it says International House of Zissix on the
It
site, so
does.
it'd be kind of IHOS.
But why can't I pronounce it iHose? It's
You
better.
can. You
Yeah,
can.
it's not right.
You can. It's wrong, but yeah, you can.
Have the decider on the show right now.
He's not Zizek.
He is a quarter
Are we
of
sure
the
about that?
deciding.
No, I'm not actually. Yeah, you might be. Oh my God, David Steinberg, welcome to the show.
No, Zissix has been showing up on Fish Trivia though. He's making himself very
Oh,
visible
that's been
lately.
fun. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey Scott, have you been on Fish Trivia?
That's
I
not fair though.
haven't actually answered any questions. I did like a video question where I provided something, but I haven't actually gone on and
Oh,
I don't
done
think
it.
you should. I the same reason I don't go on Fish Trivia, because being as enlightened as we are, Scott,
Oh,
I don't think
come
it's
on.
fair
Give me
for
a-
the
get
rest
outta
of these
here.
folks.
Get out of here.
some of the questions are hard.
Wait till you
Dude.
get beat by Ryan Storm, okay, who is like
Has he
nice
lost
and-
yet?
No.
No.
Well, I think he got second actually last time. But again, he got second out of like 200 people, and he's gotten first every time since, before that. Yeah. So when you get in there with a 19-year-old who's just smoking you on all these fish stats, it's pretty humbling, honestly. But it's a lot of fun. So
That's what happens
4.0
30 years
noob.
later. 30 years later, though, your brain just doesn't work that quick. You're
Nah,
like,
man.
B, where's B on the keyboard? Where's that?
or your internet also
Or your
doesn't work
internet
as well.
sucks.
Like
Hey, was anybody at tonight's show? No?
Hampton, yeah, I was
Hampton?
at Hampton, yes.
Yeah. What I looked at it on paper and I was like, damn, that's a set list.
Yeah, the second set's fantastic.
The first
The
set didn't look
tweezer-
bad either, though.
I don't have it in front of me right now.
Okay.
The tweezer definitely stands out, and the
Taking care of business.
the Piper and the taking care of business is one of my favorite moments from that fall tour.
Oh man.
So I'm excited for tonight.
the Golden Age is pretty good too.
Yeah, we know you love Golden
I know
Age,
the
man.
Golden Age.
Hey.
But it's like a 17-minute Golden Age in 2013, which was one of the first really kind of exploratory Golden Ages, weirdly, So it's worth listening
Good
to.
stuff.
I
Something
think
great.
that's
You guys
Something
wanna
grows
know
by
more-
night.
rule.
If you guys want to know more about Golden Age, just follow at Fammer Time on Twitter at WMC Fammer.
Yeah,
he will
something
let
like
you
that.
all
Something like
know-
that.
He'll know you. Yeah, something like that. It's
Yeah, I'm the go-to
complicated.
guy for learning about Golden Age fish's version. Yeah, that's what I'll be known for. It's pretty exciting.
I did want to really quickly. I did want to bring something back though. So Stephanie, you said your first show was 2003. Yeah, that's Matt's fam's wheelhouse. That's like where he's.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm a
So
2.0.
what was your
just
What
a
was your first
2.0 kid.
show?
It was
Who,
She's
me or
muted.
Stephanie?
Well, both. I mean, maybe
Oh,
Steph, you answer first, then we'll ask Scott what his first show was.
So it's Continental Airlines Arena in February 2003. I think it was the 24th. It was the BB King show.
Oh, Matt, were you there?
Nice. No, I was not, but phenomenal show. Yeah, that's so
What about
awesome
you,
to see.
Scott?
Hartford 97.
That was actually a
Nice.
question
Right in
from
the
the
middle
chat.
of
One of our good friends, Scott Makita, wanted
Fish
to know when your
Destroys
first show
America.
was.
So who handled the set list obligations prior to Hartford 97?
Well,
Right,
I
that's
didn't
what-
get involved with Fishnet until 2009. So
for
Charlie
3.0
Dirksen was involved.
Oh, yeah.
And then Craig DeLucia before then. So the setlist file has been going since the 90s. And without them, there wouldn't be a setlist file. I kind of took it in 2009, and I had a bunch of corrections that I sent over, and then I just joined the setlist team. So I've kind of done a revamp on a lot of things in the last 10 years, but without them, there would be no setlist file.
I'm sorry, I'm laughing right now because Went had his video closed, but his mic was still hot and he sneezed, and we all heard it. I'm just saying, man. Like,
It's a
if you're
very
gonna-
professional production.
Yeah,
we
if
run
you're gonna
here.
shut
Better
off your
sneeze than a fart.
video, yeah. All right, cool. I'm sorry. So yes, 97 though.
Hey, our friend Scott Makita was at Hartford 97. Shout
That
out
was
to
the
Scott.
20-minute character zero in that second set.
Wow, I
So
don't think
they've
I've
never done
ever. Did that go type 2 or was it just
Yes.
a raging 20
Oh,
minute?
yeah. 20 minutes.
I don't think I've ever heard character zero go type 2. That's impressive in itself, let alone 20 minutes.
It's
I might have
on
to go
from
back
the
and spin that.
archives. You should definitely give it a listen, and stick around for the rest of the set too, because it's really good.
One of my
awesome.
biggest regrets with 97 is I did the first half of the tour up to the gorge, and one of my biggest regrets was just not pushing forward and heading to the East Coast. Like I wound up staying in
Noob.
Oregon for a month because I was like, oh man, it's cool up here. I'm just gonna like chill.
Hey,
And,
Oregon's nice.
It was at the time, not right
As
now.
are other guests in the
Not
test
too- It's not right. Yeah.
Doctor.
Doctor Carmen. What was the last name? Damn, I forgot. She's clever.
Clara Carmen.
Hey,
Claire
she got a
Car-
hand.
Claire Carmen.
Thank you, Scott, for taking notes.
I was paying
Dang it.
attention to the first half of the show.
We
I'm
appreciate
here,
that.
but I have turned off my video because I need to eat a burrito. And my mom had taught me that it's rude to eat when other people are watching. And I know that we can look out, but I won't get over it because I feel like I'm being rude to Scott because he's the person that you're talking to right now. So
Everybody watching tonight, picture Stephanie eating a burrito right now.
Yes,
And
it's
it's-
just in your mind. Close your eyes.
If I remember correctly, too, when I mean,
7
we're
bites
fairly
per
new
minute.
at this. The very first episode we had, if you go back and watch episode 1, Llama ate either burrito or tacos
Oh,
for like 45 minutes.
It was tacos.
It was
It was
taco night.
tacos. And like, I had this big burly COVID beard, and like, we had no idea what we were doing. And I went back and watched, and all you could see is Llama just munching on tacos for like 45 minutes. How far
Happy
we've come
birthday,
now? We
Llama.
had
Happy
Scott
birthday, Llama,
Marks and
Bucko.
Dr. Clara Carmen on. Clara, yeah. The switch.
I
is
ate
flipped, Chad.
beforehand, so I'm good.
the switch is
No
flipped.
burritos over here.
So
Oh,
who
boy.
did you go to your first show with, Scott? How did you end up there?
I didn't go with anybody actually.
Very nice. Very nice.
I didn't have a car, so my mom, who I believe is actually watching this tonight. Hi, Mom.
Mom.
I was home from college, and she drove me from West Hartford, where I lived, to Hartford, like a 10-minute drive to Hartford Civic Center, or the mall. Dropped me off. I went to the show, and I got picked up after the show and went home.
Nice.
That's
so
sweet, though.
That is
yeah.
great.
That's
That
a
is so
great
cool.
mom.
So it was a freshman year for me in college. And I did one
But
show
how did you
in
get into
97.
fish?
94, I had someone I knew had played Picture of Nectar for me. And to
That'll
no
do
pun
it.
intended, but I was hooked immediately. With Llama and just the whole album, and it kind of ballooned up from there.
Yeah,
So
I
kind of
love hearing those stories because 9 times out of 10, if not more, there's a mentor involved. There's a personal connection and relationship that passes Fish on that I don't hear that a lot with other bands. Other fans of other bands is like, oh, heard on the radio, I saw it on MTV or whatever. But specifically with the jam scene and Fish, I love there always is a mentor involved.
Yeah, you
so
wouldn't
I was
walk
really happy
into-
about that.
Yeah, you wouldn't walk into a record store and just discover Fish back in the day. Like, that's just not how it happened. It was somebody handed you a tape.
It was not even
or-
back in the day, Boomer. Sorry. No, but I
Well,
mean, even today, though, right? Like, I talk to people
Yeah.
about Fish and they get into it. I think that hasn't changed. Sorry, I didn't
No,
mean the.
you're no,
the
no, no, no,
cheap-
no, no.
It
You're
was a
fine,
cheap
you're fine.
insult, but
Yeah, no, you're fine. You're fine, kid.
But I
Either
think
you,
that's
you know about it
consistent.
or you don't. You're not going to learn it through osmosis.
Right.
For me, by the time I saw my first
Sorry,
show,
Chad.
I already had tapes. I knew the live experience, well, not being there, but I had tapes and a live one. And so I wasn't going into it cold. I missed a couple of songs when I was writing out the set list I needed help from, like a couple random people in the area, my first show. And I have set lists written down for every single show I've been after Fish.
Do you still bring a notebook? Do you still do it the old
Yeah,
pen
I
and
still
paper?
I still have a notebook where I keep track of the set list and then notes of what happened during the show and before and after. It's kind of been like a tour journal, which has been nice to keep track of for the last
Do you have your notebook
20 years.
nearby?
I do not.
That would have been awesome. So I just thought of the 2 stories,
Next
and I don't want to tell your story, but I kind of have to. They're my favorite Scott Marks stories. Was there a story, and you're going to have to fill in the blanks and confirm if I'm actually remembering this correctly, but was there a story about you at MSG and somebody, you were like, answered what song it was or what the set list was, and they were questioning you, and they referenced Scott Marks to you, and you were like, does this ring a bell?
It doesn't.
God, I remember.
Oh,
It's
No,
amazing
there
how
was-
stories and like legends go around, sometimes. It's
Maybe there was somebody who had mentioned Fishnet, and I think I told them I'm on Fishnet.
Yeah, they were questioning about the set list, and then it was funny because they were talking to you and like your contributions to the actual set list.
Right.
Wook.
Well, wait. I have a better one. The second one, because I actually was there and
Yeah.
remember this one,
Yeah.
was this. I don't remember which New Year's Eve it was, but you losing your ticket and how quickly the Twibe and Fish community came together to get you a new ticket was. I don't know
Well,
if anybody could have
there's a
had that kind of
story-
response.
There's a story behind this that even predates all this, which I have to give the full context to. I have a friend, Jim, who this is 2012. We had gone up to Boston from Providence to go see Humphreys McGee at the House of Blues. And we had gone to Boston Beer Works, which is a bar right across from Fenway, and there were 4 of us there, and we had 5 tickets for the show. And we were going to have 5 tickets. We had them at will call, so Jim and I picked up the tickets, and we went across the street from the House of Blues, this like bleacher bar or something, which is literally underneath Fenway Park. And then we had the 2 friends with the 3 tickets say, we're going to go inside, and they left. And somehow between going from the bleacher bar to the House of Blues across the street, Jim lost his ticket. So before all this happened, the show wasn't sold out. And then the show was sold out at that point. So I had a couple of options. I could have gone inside the show. And you guys know I'm a big Humphreys fan. Or and let Jim go drink for the next 3 hours, which he was fine doing, or I could have sold my ticket and gone home. So,
What'd
little
you do?
pop quiz here. What did I do?
Inquiring minds want to know.
B.
I think you went in the show.
All right, we got one for the show.
B.
Who else wants to vote?
B. Second option.
B.
You sold your ticket.
All right, one for each.
Sold a ticket.
You-
I'm going.
I'm actually gonna guess that you put a call out on social media, and because you are the archive and the biz archive, got a ticket within 10.5 seconds, and you
Yeah.
both
All
went
right,
in and
so
had
you've
a
gone
great
for
show.
option C, which I did not actually mention. So it's either A, B, or your new C. I
Yeah.
sold my
Hey.
ticket and went home.
Oh,
So
very
we
nice.
drove back.
All right.
And so he goes on social media and calls me a gentleman, and his wife at the time was busting his balls.
I would have
and,
gone on this show. You are a total gentleman.
So a couple months later, we're skiing up at Okemo, and I made a crack that Jim hadn't lost his ticket to go skiing, and so it kind of blossomed to that point where everyone would joke about him losing his ticket. And then he'd go to lunch and he'd have like 20 mentions on Twitter when he'd come back, and he was like, "I hate you all." So this joke kind of went on for a few years. And then here I am at MSG, and I had a ticket like 5 rows off the floor, and I'd wanted to be on the floor, and I had made the trade, and then from the Affinia to which is like a block away from MSG, like diagonal, to the floor entrance. I get to the floor entrance, and I, looking for the ticket, standing there for waiting to get in for doors, and check my pockets, and down my pockets. I check the journal. You take like the top of the journal, you kind of shake it, and it's not there. Checked my jacket pockets, every single pocket I had, and I didn't have the ticket. This is like an hour before the showtime, and so then I check again. And it's like you're kind of uneasy at first, and then slowly that panic level starts to rise just a little bit.
And that's
little
for New
bit.
Year's Eve too,
Yeah,
right?
on New Year's Eve, like the hardest ticket
So
of the
it's
year.
not like it's an easy ticket to come by an hour before the show on New Year's Eve.
So, and I had a couple of friends like, "Are you all right?" And I'm like, "No, man, I'm really not all right."
No.
So then he goes inside, and I traced my steps back to the I'm like, I don't have a ticket. And then I had reached out to my friend, Brian Lasky, Bonnie Diego on Twitter, to see if like he had another, a backup ticket. So he had like the press pass or something, and he didn't. And I really wasn't sure what to do at that point. I didn't want to go on to Twitter, and I was kind of humiliated by the whole experience. And but I did, and within like 5 or 10 minutes, Brando Rich from Cash Your Trade had access to a ticket, and fast enough with the PH had a ticket that he gave me for free. Wouldn't let me pay for it. And then Brian actually gave me back my original ticket, and so I was back with my ticket 5 rows off the floor again.
Unbelievable.
So I figured, you know what, I wasn't going to let this go. So multiple times throughout the last year, I would take little pot shots at myself saying I hadn't lost a ticket, like in X amount of shows. And I went the entire year not losing a ticket, so I kind of set the bar at my ankles really, really low. But baby steps. So that's the other MSG story.
There's been
Did
a
you ever
10
find
show.
out what happened with your ticket?
No. But the moral of the story is you bust your friend's balls enough, and then all of a sudden it happens to you, and well, then you can't bust his balls anymore.
That's right. These guys are all gonna get gumboed. They're all gonna get gumboed one day. All gonna get it. So
Scott, what's
that's
your
right,
take
Scott.
on gumbo? Love it, hate it?
Love it.
Of course you
All
do.
right.
Of
You know
course
why?
he
Because
does.
a reasonable fan loves gumbo. Sorry.
Well, I got
Yes.
one for you, Scott,
This
and
is
I know
true.
you always like to be the most positive. What's your least favorite or your most undesirable Fish song in there?
Oh man, why would you do
Here
that?
we
man?
go.
Because I want to know
Fam,
his.
don't answer
Because
this
it's what fam.
question.
Yeah, no, fam, you stay out of this.
For those of you who don't know, we asked this question and went around the table, and Fam's answer was Gumbo. So we've been relentlessly giving him shit for it.
There's an
And I
asterisk
won.
there.
I won with
Asterisk.
my answer.
What was your
Um,
answer?
Halfway to the
It's
moon.
funny because I like the studio version a lot, but I really am not crazy when, and I don't hate the song, but I'm not crazy when Taste is played. And yeah, during the Baker's Dozen, it was one of my favorite versions ever. So when I'll live tweet from the show, and when I tweet Taste, I have friends that won't pay attention to anything else throughout the whole night or the whole tour, but they'll make sure to like that post on Twitter because they know it's not my favorite song. It's kind of like hold your head up and fish, and people just make sure to let me know. So next time Taste comes on, guys, Twitter.
Yeah, we all know.
Yep.
Thanks,
I
Will. Appreciate
wanted
that.
to
That's
react.
great.
But
I wanted to react
nobody-
strongly like I did for Matt, but you're Scott Marks, so I can't.
Look,
So I'm just
nobody
gonna
wants to
say,
know-
okay.
Nobody wants to know if I'm not enjoying a show or set, so I'm never gonna, make that known on Twitter.
Right.
you
No,
know,
I
if you want,
appreciate
if you
that,
want
yeah.
people bashing the band or
Yeah.
bashing the set list, you can look elsewhere.
There's plenty of that.
I
Yeah,
don't.
there's plenty of that.
I chose a while ago not to do that. So,
It's- I've been
No, I
asked
appreciate that. That's why I was
question.
just
but
wondering.
it's not a
what
bad
your
song.
one-
It's just there are other songs I'd rather hear live.
Right.
But I love
Cool.
I love the studio version on Billy Breed's, which makes no sense.
That's
that
actually
I love
pretty
one but not the other.
fair.
7/12/2003, Gorge opener.
Here we go.
Taste is so phenomenal.
2.0.
Again, so I had to do. I got Gumbo. And I got to taste Scott. Right? Oh, all right.
No.
Yeah, but
no.
it's
Please keep
Scott.
going.
It's Scott.
I know. You
Um,
can nerd out a bit. It's fine.
I've gotten asked that question many times if I would ever do like a reverse bracket of like the least favorite Fish song, and your explanation about not wanting to spread the negativity is exactly why I didn't.
Yeah.
I'm sure it would be endlessly entertaining and fascinating to like get people really fired up about like which they like the least, but I don't want to do the whole bracket because I think there's too much negativity surrounding it.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
never understand why people say, what's your least favorite show, your least favorite song on social media. For me, I'd rather want to know what people like and not what they don't like. Not to throw shade at that
Well,
question.
you know,
Just came
so
at me
at
2 minutes
that-
ago, but my angle, I guess.
Hold on, we
social
have a
media, no.
philosophy. We have a philosophy professor right here. Can we maybe like doctor?
Dr.
Why do
Doctor.
people on Twitter? Is she listening right now?
Yes.
I think she.
Okay.
Yeah, she's
Why do people on Twitter hate?
Okay, so can I, in answering that question, I was about to post on Twitter, what is your least favorite Fish song? I really want to answer that question.
Don't be that fan, Steph. Don't do
Oh
it.
no! Stop her.
But it's fascinating to
It
me.
is
right?
fascinating
That
how people
much-
Hater.
How
Hater.
strong- How strong people's opinions are, so much so that when I teach my fish class, the very first thing they listen to is a vacuum solo.
Such a brilliant way to introduce
I
people to
love
fish.
it.
Because I'm not going to bury the lead, which is the weirdness and the inside jokes and what makes the band interesting to me. So I give that to the students up front, and I pair it with a reading by Leo Tolstoy about what is art. And what I love about that assignment is how well it works, which is that the students tend to hate it at first, and then they read the essay, and then they come back and say, you know what, I thought about it. My first response was that this wasn't music. And then I gave it a little bit more thought and realized that it actually is, it's conceptual art, right? Because it makes me feel something very strongly. Usually it's hate and annoyance with the vacuum cleaner, right?
Yeah.
Like vocal jam.
Yeah, and
I love the vocal jam and the vacuum cleaner solos. Come on.
that's what I love about Fish is that the music is so powerful, right? That it evokes those uncontrollable emotional responses. And so I mean, you've seen this. If you play that note from the S show, I can't not cry. I will, if I know ahead of time, I might be able to prepare myself. And so last night, the rabbit hole that I was in was why this 67-second note? Why does this note control me, right? I have chased that note to the other side of the world.
Yeah.
That's how much I love it, which was that it was a sign from God. I don't know what that means because I'm not a religious person, but the guy that I met in line on the first night of Dick's is one of my best friends in the world. And he lives in Denver. And so one of the great things about the Dick's run is that every year I get to go to Dick's and I get to hang out with my best friend and rock out to fish together. And we do it every year. And then a couple of years ago, we're at the Dick's run and he says, Stephanie, I'm going to Israel. Do you want to come? But here's the thing, right? That my best friend who I met when I heard that note asked me if I wanted to go to Israel. And the answer is fuck yes, right? I'm going to Israel. And I don't know why. All I know is that I saw a sign from God and I need to go to Jerusalem. And so no one else knew what I was doing. I did not tell anybody this because I didn't understand, but I had it was a different set of headphones. It was my Audio Technica headphones, which don't I can't use anymore because I got a new phone and so now it has to be wireless. But I don't take my headphones off. I was walking around Israel at holy sites, unless I was at a place where it was offensive to the people who were practicing for me to have my headphones, and I took it off. And what I was listening to was that segment. Right? I played that out in Jerusalem at all the holy sites I was allowed to go to.
You brought up something very interesting to me that I was watching this special today. It was an interview, and it was Tiger Woods adjacent. Tiger Woods, the golfer. And the interviewee was saying that Tiger Woods evoked love in people that were watching golf. Like before Tiger Woods, it was like, oh man, good golfers. And all of a sudden Tiger Woods sparked love among golfers. And that's the same way I feel about Fish, is that I've seen 1,000
golfing
bands.
is love.
Well, I mean, but when you see
love.
but when you see greatness and you recognize
I can't believe I just sang on this.
Yeah, you
goddamn
did.
show.
You did.
That was really good.
Yeah, that was.
It was, and now it's going to make the highlight reel.
Yeah.
Chad, I don't want to derail you, but
okay, derail me. It's fine. I was making a fantastic point about how Tiger Woods and Fish are the same, but go ahead.
That was the point.
Thank
Everybody
you.
got it?
Yeah,
we all got the point. Okay,
yeah,
cool.
Okay.
So we're actually coming up on the show, and I'm gonna have to hit the portas before we go in. I want to end and kind of in the theme of what Scott was just talking about with positivity. Instead of what the least favorite song is, a real quick 1-minute answer from each of our guests about what their favorite Fish song is for them personally. And then maybe we can wrap up and have a great damn show tonight. Is that cool?
Could they also say their favorite venue with the song? Because I'm curious.
All right, yeah.
what their
Favorite song,
venues are,
favorite
too.
venue. They don't have to be connected. It doesn't have to be your favorite song from your favorite venue.
Nope. Favorite
It's
moment.
interesting things to know about people. Who wants to go first? Scott? Steph?
Mike's song's my favorite.
Nice.
It's worked well for the intro.
Great intro, by the way.
Happy hearing that now as I did with my first couple of shows. And venues is a little harder to figure out. I mean, indoors it has to be MSG.
Of course.
There's probably no place I'd rather see an indoor show, unless it's Providence when it's local. But the Garden just has that that aura and energy to it. Outdoors for Fish, Bethel Woods was probably my favorite place to see Fish. And my favorite place overall is Fort Adams for the Newport Folk Fest. If you ever get a chance to do that, get down there. It's just amazing. And the Gorge and Red Rocks are also great places to see music, as you would
That was
imagine.
for you, Travis.
I know. Thanks, Scott. That's my favorite venue of all time is Red Rocks.
Steph?
I always say it.
This is the edge.
Steph, favorite song, favorite venue.
So I don't know how to answer that question, but first, I just want to say thank you and apologize because you had to ask me if I was listening, right? And so I
We
want
hadn't spoken to you in a while. I think that's fair.
You were off camera.
I've been listening the whole time, and if I left the camera, it was because I needed to take care of myself and eat something, or my dog, who is currently being tested for COVID and cancer, right? So it's right that we might all be dying matters in a global pandemic when right now both my dog and I are being tested for COVID, and my dog is my retired service dog. So right, like it's that serious, and it's I apologize if that's uncomfortable for anybody else, but it's not. For me, I laugh about it and I make art with it, right? And so to answer your, but I just wanted to say, if I've done anything that makes it appear like I wasn't listening to you, especially Scott, because Scott's one of my best friends, I really was listening. It's just you said something that made me maybe need to go grab a book. So to answer your question, my favorite note is the S note. It's the from the S show, that 67 interval, because it's so powerful that I love it in ways that I've followed it to the other side of the world and done things with it that maybe almost that maybe I went a little too far, right? I don't know. You all can tell me that, but this is why we're here, is how much I love that note. And what I love about it is that I can show up in a Zoom meeting and tell at least Tim, who's a man I don't know, who's married, that I love him, and you all get that. Because one of the things that I love about the fish community is how emotionally like in tune and mature a lot of the fans are. Because I've never been part of a community where I have seen men, like straight men, be so open about how much they love each other. I've only seen that in books about, where he's written about love between gay men. Like that's the only other place where I've seen that kind of conversation.
I've only met one of the Wook Plus guys in person, and I can tell you for a fact, unapologetically, that I love these guys like they were my brothers.
Yeah.
Like, absolutely, I have no shame in telling you that.
And we now love you, Steph, and Scott just as much, if that makes sense. You're now part of our world. So,
hey, and wait, are they both invited back next week for the lot party?
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, lot
formally
party
invited.
next week. Come back.
I want to just give that a quick plug. Tomorrow, or not tomorrow, next week, we will be having the season 1 finale of the lot with the lot party. We'll be having, I don't know, 20 or 30 guests. It'll be fun. Be just complete chaos. There'll be no legit questions.
As always.
No depth. It'll be really just a lot of fun hanging out, enjoying each other, and trying to keep things light. Guys.
Can I just tell Scott real quick too, Scott?
Songs.
Exactly, Scott. On the flip side of that, I love your shirt. It combines my two favorite things, fish and Lost. I have that same shirt.
Also Mike's song as well.
Yeah, I know your favorite song. So it's all three
Trapped in
things.
time,
for
I
you.
don't know what to do.
I don't
Love it.
want to push us
Well
out. I
played.
probably could talk to you guys for another 5
No, we got
hours.
2 minutes till the show.
Time for one more question.
30 seconds, go.
Can I ask you all what your favorite jam is from the show that we're about to watch? Or do you
Oh, just put
Don't
on the second set and put it in my
don't say
hand.
why, no spoilers, but just what do you love about the show that we're gonna watch? Because
Piper.
I listened to the entire jam chart from fall 2013. And because I was asking my friends and, some people in private conversation, some people on social media, right? Scott, Charlie, my best friends, like Nathan is the only person who gave me permission to say his name, right? And listened to the entire jam chart and trying to hear why you all like the different songs and why sometimes people who I love call each other deaf when they have disagreements about what's obvious. And so right. And so we're about to go watch it. And I'm just really curious.
Can we let you know after the show?
Yeah, I was going to say, we'll get back to you after we watch it again and refresh our ears.
I don't know. Like,
that would make
No
me
spoilers.
really happy, right?
All right.
If you remembered that show and then came back and said, however, like wherever you want to say it,
All right, we'll find you on Twitter after the show.
that would be
For
that would be
sure.
really, really happy if you did that.
We'll have a little Wook thread.
Thank you so much for having me.
Steph, Wook
We
Plus, I
appreciate
love
you
all
guys
of you
so
guys.
much. Have a
Be
good
back
night,
next
you
week for the
guys.
finale. Love you all.
Yeah,
Thanks,
come
Scott.
back.
Thanks, Doc.
Thank you.
See you guys.
Thank you.
So,
let this play for a second, just for
Yeah,
Scott.
you gotta let it play a little bit.